What's going on? I am Nando.
And I am DJ.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woohoo!
This week, we are getting ready for the biggest, well, I don't know, one of the biggest movies of the year, and one of the ones that we're getting ready for one of the, is this the biggest animated movie of all time? Like the sequel to that next week?
Are you saying if Frozen is the greatest?
Yeah, or just highest grossing and like most, you know?
I don't have
wondering.
the numbers.
Yeah.
Damn
I
it,
think
Nando.
It might be. I mean, adjusted for inflation with Lion King and stuff like that, sometimes
Highest
it's tough. But
grossing animated movie of all time. And Google gives me... Oh, come on. You have to give me a second.
Google failed us again.
It's the new Lion King. Number 2 is Frozen, by the way.
Well, as an animated movie, though. Like,
all right, well, then it's Frozen.
Yeah, I don't know. I have trouble with the Lion King. What to even do with that?
So, just to get a baseline, so Frozen's gross was $1,655,670. Sorry, that's Lion King. Damn it, $1,290,000,000.
Okay. That's pretty good.
And then you got Incredibles 2, Minions, Toy Story 4, Toy Story 3, Despicable Me 3, Finding Dory, Zootopia, Despicable Me 2. How is that many Minions-based movies in the top 10? The fuck world am I living in?
I have never seen any of them. I refuse at this point. I hate Minions because I go to the shore every so often, and their every prize is Minions now. Like it's like someone took all the Minions and just hung them all. We gotta rescue those Minions. DJ, we got a lot to talk about. We also have a guest today. DJ, can you explain that whole thing?
I can explain that whole thing.
Do the intro there.
We got a special guest today. And we don't do a lot of guests on Mostly Nitpicking here. So she is back from our Mad Bracket Status days. When she introduced herself, I don't remember which brackets she was on, but I guess she is a Disney expert in her own right, and she could talk about that. But please welcome to the show my fiance, Michelle Karachi. Woo! Woo!
Hi guys.
What's up?
So yeah, I was on the princess bracket and the pirate bracket.
Okay.
And I think I was on one other one, but that was so long ago.
I'm glad you remember that much, to be honest.
And yeah, I wouldn't say I know everything about Disney, but I definitely know more than like the average person does about Disney trivia. Like every kind of Disney trivia. We're
going to throw some Disney trivia at you.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Let's see.
At what temperature does Walt Disney's head freeze? Disney trivia. Disney trivia number 2. What was Song of the South? What were they thinking there? That's Disney trivia.
You know it's not on Disney Plus.
That's what I've heard. And it's like the only thing, right? Because everything else got like, this is insensitive in some parts.
Some of the
they were just like,
some of the cartoons, like the early Disney cartoons, are still like trickling their way into Disney Plus. But like, I don't think they'll ever put Song of the South actually on Disney Plus.
So, fun fact, I actually looked this up because I was really curious. Apparently, they asked Bob Iger about this, and he's like, no, we're not going to do anything Song of the South ever. Please shut up. So, yeah, I think that's fair.
It's the one with the rabbit, right?
Yeah, Briar Rabbit. It's the
movie
that
a ride.
Yeah, Splash Mountain, and that's not. I don't think that'll ever go away. Like,
do you think they could reskin it as like Frozen Mountain or something?
You know what's funny is DJ and I were talking about this recently when we were in Disney Worlds and we were on the ride, because it's one of my favorite rides. Between like the music and the animatronics and everything, it feels very Disney World to me. And and we were like, well, do you think they would reskin it? And I was like, I don't think so, because I don't think people associate the ride with the movie, and there's nothing like scandalous about the ride itself. So I don't think that they would have I don't think most people I assume don't even know what Song of the South is. I think that they just think that that's what that the ride is Splash Mountain, and that's what that identifies as.
Yeah. Maybe they could remake Song of the South as Splash Mountain and just make it a really fun, likable cartoon. And then everyone's like, what's this ride? Well, it's the Splash Mountain ride from the movie Splash Mountain. And we never would have to, I don't know, if they ever come up with the neuralizers for Men in Black, I think Disney will go right to that. Just wipe everyone's memory from Song of the South.
Yeah, probably.
So trying to think, what other Disney trivia is there, DJ? Do you have any Disney trivia?
Yeah, so the problem, well, she knows all of it because so when we went to Disney World, when you pin trade, they'll give you Disney trivia.
Oh.
So like a fun one, there's one about the park, and it's how tall is the Tower of Terror?
It's 1,776 feet, just like World Trade Center 1. That is a fact we all know. Now, how tall is it? 600 feet? No, that's too high.
So it's 199 feet, and the reason for that is it's a federal law that any building that is over 200 feet tall needs like a blinking light on top of it for airplanes.
Ah.
Yeah, so fun fact.
That's funny. So wait, but it could have been better. Or like it could have been like a bigger ride if they would just submit to this small
Right.
light requirement.
That's true. They could have made like a 400-foot Tower
Yeah.
of Terror and freak everyone out.
That would have been sweet. Instead, we got a lame 199.9 foot Tower of Terror. What
And,
happens if there's like an earthquake, or not an earthquake, I guess? What if the land moves under it? Can that happen? Probably not. Yeah.
Isn't that
Barking
what an
up the wrong-
earthquake is?
Well, I guess like more like it, like if somehow raises it. Like as a North New Jerseyan, I think of everything in terms of like swamps. So I'm thinking like, what if the swamp that I'm assuming is under it affected it in some way that pushed it over? So they just had to keep cutting parts of it off. I've never ridden the Tower of Terror. I assume it's a modular ride that you can just get rid of small sections of, and it's still the same exact ride.
So you would actually probably appreciate this, Nando. In Disneyland, it's Guardians of the Galaxy themed. It's not like the Tower of Terror. And
I've heard of that.
It's interesting because like so the ride like jettisons you up and down, but the reason it's so different from Tower of Terror is like Tower of Terror is really scary, but they play all the Guardians music in this one, so it's a bit more whimsical.
I'd
So-
also like to argue that the Tower of Terror isn't necessarily scary. It's just based on the Twilight Zone, so it's like a
That's
little
fair.
spooky.
Interesting. That's good trivia though.
There you go.
It's interesting trivia.
It's good as we'll get.
Is there a Frozen ride at Disney World?
Yes.
Is there Frozen
Yes.
anything?
In Epcot, there is the Frozen Adventure, which is the ride that replaced the Maelstrom in Norway in Epcot, and the animatronics in that ride are probably the best animatronics that I've seen in Disney Worlds, like at all. It's phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's like if the cartoon characters were alive and like standing in front of you.
I've heard, and this is just from super secondhand, that the animatronic in the Avatar, the river, whatever, is very, very good.
So we have not seen that actually.
Yeah, why would you? what kind of, besides just to see the single animatronic, I cannot imagine it would be worth your time.
Well, so when we were booking our fast passes, you can't book fast passes for both of the different Avatar rides. So DJ and I booked for the Flights of Passage, of course, but my mom gets very motion sick, so we booked her for the river ride because we were like,
oh yeah,
well, if you don't want to do this one, you should definitely do that one. And she came off that ride and said it was not worth it. Like she said that it was not good, and she can't imagine the people who had to wait like 2 hours to get on that ride.
And how does your mom have that like tiny amount of affection that we all still have for Avatar, where we're kind of like, I remember this was a thing. She's not like a hardcore Avatar fan.
I wouldn't say she's a hardcore Avatar fan, but she's also a very critical person of things like that, like of rides and shows and stuff. And if she feels like it wastes her time, she will not hesitate to tell people that.
Just like jump out of the riverboat and swim back to shore. Not wasting my 2 minutes on this whatever floating jellyfishes, and I don't know what that one is. It seems like it's a lot of business. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of the Frozen one now. It's actually pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Speaking of Frozen, DJ,
Yeah.
Frozen 2.
A
Will
movie
be
we're
next
not
week, and
doing
this week-
today.
Yeah, what are we doing this week?
We're doing Frozen 1.
Nice.
Frozen Light? I don't know. The original Frozen?
It's just called
Yeah.
Frozen.
That's
The
true.
Frozen the Furious, I think is what that one was called. And then the fourth one's just Frozen Furious.
Yeah, that sounds
They really
right.
got to
That sounds
get
right.
together with those naming titles, like conventions.
So yeah, this was an interesting movie to nitpick, I think, because it's incredibly critically acclaimed, right? And Michelle and I were talking about this beforehand. So Nando, I don't know what your memory is of Frozen when it first came out, but we were saying that it felt like it was so uneventful when it first came out. like it didn't seem like it was this whole big thing. It was a bit of a just kind of, this random Disney movie came out. Do you recall your feelings when that movie came out?
Yeah, I think I went opening weekend and was like, this is pretty good. Like,
yeah.
I remember there was nothing about it that got me super invested in it, like some specific actor I love or something like that it's like, oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. is Frozen, gotta check it out. Like with Dr. Dolittle and The Judge.
Yes.
You can't miss those. And this was like, I think this was just like, I heard pretty good things. Let's go see it. And you know what? I went with my family, so I went with like my sister and cousin, all of us adults, very much adults. And
thank you for clarifying.
Moms, yeah. Like none of us were the age range that this is built for. It wasn't like the way I kind of described it. It's like me and my, sister dragged our 5-year-old. No, we're all in our, mid to late 20s when this happened. Although, wait, when did this come out?
2013.
Oh, okay. So maybe not exactly that age, but yeah, in our 20 plus. And yeah, I remember hearing very little about it beforehand, besides just right before it came out. People were like, this is pretty good. Do you remember there was a trailer for this? It was bad, right?
Yes, I do. And because the trailer did not seem to explain what the movie is.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the trailer that had Olaf and Sven in it?
Yes.
I think so.
That one I definitely remember.
Yeah.
Where they're just skating around on ice trying to eat
Yeah,
something.
they were trying
whatever.
to eat Olaf's nose. I was literally just talking to DJ about this earlier because I remember that being the only trailer that I saw for the movie. And I remember thinking, I have no idea what this is about, but look how cute these characters are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the impression that they wanted to give, but yeah, I remember so little about this movie prior to, and then I didn't even see it opening weekend. I might have seen it a month after it came out because I heard so much buzz, and I was like, oh, this is really good. Hidden gem Disney's got here, and then of course it blows up to be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, well, after you tweeted about it, the world really found out.
Yeah,
DJ said hidden gem. Let's take this right into the $1 billion club. Might as well.
Make me look like a fool.
Yeah, I want to say I saw it early, but not like super early. I think I saw it. I think I definitely saw it opening week. I don't know why. I think a lot of it was just like the cousins were all kind of hanging out and we're like, let's go see this thing.
I want to say it was the first Disney princess movie since Rapunzel, and Rapunzel was like a number of years before that. So
yeah, I think Tangled was it 2010?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Tangled was 2010, so 3 years prior.
Right. So it was like pretty exciting that it was like another Disney princess movie because they weren't like dropping like Disney princess movies, at least back then they didn't come out all the time. So it was like exciting to have another one of those.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess that was the thing that I mean, obviously it's a Disney movie, so it's clearly for kids, and there's the cute characters. But I remember so this came out I think in November of 2013,
That's
and
right.
It had so much like Regency that like the next Halloween, every girl was Elsa. I even remember I went to a Christmas party and one of my cousin's daughters, who was like 3 years old, was dressed up as Elsa. And I was like, is this a thing? And my cousin was like, this is a thing. Like, you don't understand. It's a thing. It's the only thing. I was like, oh shit. So
yeah, they loved it. The people that loved it, and I liked it. But like some people, it seems like mostly children, but it did seem like it had that effect where people were like, oh, this is pretty good. And then I'm trying to think of something else this happened with. Like Minions, I guess, is the only other thing where just like kids took it and ran with it to the point where as an adult, I'm like, I never want to hear that song again. And I feel like I had that thought maybe like a month after the movie came out, maybe 2 months. Like it really was everywhere.
Yeah. You could not get away from let it go. They re-released the movie as a sing-along. Like, that's how big this thing was.
Winning awards and stuff. So be like, oh, we have to hear it at the Oscars in February, and we have to do this. And, like, it just never left. I wonder if that's what all the Disney movies were like for, like, our parents, you know?
It can't be. Not all of them. Like, I can't... Like, I'd have to go back and ask, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the 80s to 90s Disney movies, like, there were a lot that just were so good in succession, but there was nothing like this. And nothing that really followed it that was as big either.
But, like, could you imagine if in the 80s and 90s, as children, if we had access to YouTube so that we could just replay songs over and
That's a
over and
great
over
point.
again?
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
You had to either get, like, the cassette or CD or something like that. Yeah, that's a really good point.
And like, yeah, I feel like and the other thing that's interesting about Frozen, right, is like, and we're gonna get into like the actual. Well, I mean, we're kind of starting to talk about the movie, but if you think about something else that had a similar, not like cultural impact, but like Lion King, right? And Beauty and the Beast. Those are like the big dogs in the 90s Disney, stuff. Like there's Little Mermaid and Aladdin and plenty of others, but like neither of those two movies, I feel like it's like there's like a certain amount of song mojo, and they passed it out pretty evenly among all the songs. And Frozen has the same amount of pooled song mojo, but all of the songs just gave it to Let It Go. So it was the clear, like, it was so memorable. And it's not because the other ones were forgettable necessarily, but like, it's not the same way where Lion King, you got like Nazatwania, whatever, Just Can't Wait to Be King. Like, there's just a lot of, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I feel like Let It Go is the only song that made it out of there, which is partially why I think it's stuck around so much.
So, go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, I was just going to say, I also think that a song like Let It Go is really easy for like kids to sing along with, because there isn't
Yeah.
a lot of, there's not a whole lot of words to this song. It's just a lot of repetition, and the song is beautiful, but like it's pretty easy to remember. So I feel like kids can very easily like pick it up and like sing along with it and want to continue to sing along with it.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I agree with both your points. So I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I actually don't think Let It Go is the best song out of that movie. And we were talking about this too, but there's a lot of good songs in Frozen. Like, it's one of those rare Disney movies. Like, every Disney movie has like one of those songs where you kind of forget or could pass on. But like Frozen, Hercules is an example. Like Aladdin's an example where every song is just like, it might not be a banger, but it's really, really good. And I think Frozen's like that. But yeah, I think for the reasons that you guys said, just Let It Go is the one song that made it out of here, and just forget about these other ones.
Yeah. Also, like, how many is Let It Go the only song in that? No, I guess not. It's not. Is it the only song that's sung by one character?
Ooh.
No.
In Frozen 1?
That's not.
Which
What
one?
are the other ones?
So Summer is only sung by Olaf.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
yeah.
And
I forgot
also,
about that.
Reindeer Are Better Than People is only sung by Kristoff.
That's true, yeah.
Mm.
I guess that
Yeah,
does count as a song.
Also, Anna only sings that original Opening the Gates song, which I don't remember the name of it.
For the first time
for the
in
first
forever?
time in forever.
Yeah.
She's the only one who sings. So there's a lot of songs that are only sung by one person.
Hmm.
But Let It Go is the only song sung by Elsa.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Okay, so let's start the way we usually do. We'll talk about the movie very generally. We're not going to spoil it.
Although, come on, people. You've seen it.
Spoilers, the snowman eats the rest of the ones. Frozen 2 is a prequel because they're all dead at the end of Frozen 1.
Even the one twist is kind of... I remember I felt so good when I first saw it. I'm like, that's the evil one. Calling it. I feel like there's so many things that just give it away, but...
I feel like it almost comes out of nowhere if you... Well, not like, okay, it gives it away, but also I don't feel like the movie's insanely committed to it, where I think it could have easily been the opposite, and then at the end it's just like, oh, actually, no, he's fine. And you're like, oh, yeah, I guess.
All right.
He didn't have a dagger secretly behind his back the entire movie or something, or like... I don't know what other Disney characters do. See, do this the other one. How often is there a Disney twist generally? I feel like usually it's pretty straightforward. Good guy, bad guy. Plot 1, 2, 3.
I feel like they've been trying to do more twists in the recent films.
Yeah, and the Pixar ones definitely get more twisty.
Right.
I feel
I
like
guess
than
Wreck-It
the
Ralph
other
has
ones.
a twist. Big Hero 6 has a twist.
Yeah.
It's really, they just all have twist bad guys.
Yeah, it's fair. But yeah, even Tangled, you just know the witch is bad from the outset. There's no twist in Princess and the Frog.
Nope.
Wreck
Wait,
It
there's one I'm
Ralph.
forgetting.
Is there a twist in Wreck It Ralph? Not
Yeah, there's a
Oh
big
yeah, there's a
twist in
huge
Wreck-It
twist.
Ralph.
Duh.
I think it's the
Yeah.
most effective out of any of these.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I
Wow.
think that one, when it happened in the movie, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah, it's true. This is a pretty.
I
Solid
don't know
twist.
why. Like, okay, so I think this one isn't that. It's fine. I think Big Hero 6's is kind of bad. Not bad, but it's like, that one I'd say is super on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say with Wreck-It Ralph does the right amount of like, here we're going to give you a little bit of information and a little bit of information, and maybe we can't trust this guy, who knows why, and then it's all revealed in just a very clever way.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I love the Wreck It Ralph twist.
Well, there's like 2 twists in Wreck-It Ralph, right?
That's true.
There's King Candy.
Right.
What's the other?
That
oh,
Penelope is
Penelope, yeah.
the queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True.
That's true. Is there a twist in Wreck-It Ralph 2?
No.
No,
There's
right?
not.
No, I don't
Twist
think
is that it's
so.
not as good as Wreck-It Ralph 1, I think. It's revealed at the very end of the movie that it's not really as good. Although, can you believe, it feels like it's been years since I've seen that movie.
I
saw that
agree.
movie about a year ago,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, I
Time
totally
moves
agree.
so slowly, I hate it. This year specifically is bad like that.
Oh, wait for next year, dude. Next year's gonna be 10 years.
Oh my god, it's going to be like a dream sequence in a cartoon. Just like it's gonna be bad. I think though, Frozen 1, speaking of Frozen 1 versus Frozen 2, or like kind of history of Frozen 1 before we get into the actual movie. Frozen 1 also opened in an incredibly weak part of that year specifically. If you look at like the other 2013 stuff it had to compete
yeah,
with.
it's 2013. Yeah.
There was one other movie that I think was like, oh, maybe that'll be the one. And that kind of flopped. So Frozen had this really, Hobbit. Hobbit Desolation of Smaug, which like didn't flop, but it wasn't like that great, you know.
Yeah.
And like, Anchorman 2. There are just a lot of movies in there that you're like, oh, maybe that one will be the thing that kind of takes the reins out of Frozen. But just nothing happened. And there was nothing to challenge Frozen. Whereas I think if this year, or if Frozen doesn't make $1 bazillion, or as much as Frozen 1, like if Frozen 2 doesn't do as well, I think you could probably chalk most of that up to this calendar specifically, and kind of the Jumanji and the Star Wars it's going to have to contend with.
Do you think that's actual like contending?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Jumanji's like one of the highest grossing movies of the year it came out for some reason.
Oh God.
I mean, it's fine. I enjoyed it enough. It's The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah. What's not to love?
They should put them in this. There's like rocks. They could just be two rock trolls in the background bickering or something. One's very large and one's very small. Gosh.
What a
I hope
movie.
no one's listening. Michael Eisner.
Did you just say Michael Eisner?
Is he still in charge?
No, it's Bob
No,
Iger.
that's the other one.
I don't think
Bob
Michael
Iger?
Eisner's been
Okay.
in charge for the past. You're gonna make me Google Michael Eisner, a thing I did not think I would have to do in 2019, the year of our Lord.
This is just a really
Eisner.
clever trivia question that I'm asking. Of course, I knew it was Mike Eisner or Bob
All right.
Eisner, one of them.
Okay, Michelle, you're the Disney expert. I know you don't follow a lot of the corporate stuff, but I want both of you to guess the year in which he stopped being the CEO of Disney and Bob Iger took over.
Who goes first? You want to go first, Michelle?
Sure. I'm going to guess 1996.
Okay.
Oh, God. I think, you know what? Like, now that you mention it like this, I think it is somewhere post Aladdin, right? He left, and then they were like, oh, man, we're so sorry, Robin Williams. She's probably right. I'll give it 97. I'm going to go over.
Okay. So, Nando, you're the closest without going over. It was 2005. He was
Oh.
Oh
from
my gosh.
1984 to 2005.
Huh.
So, anyway, it was 14 years ago. That should be the point we all take away from this. Just
Wow.
in
He's
my...
probably still got enough pull to listen to the podcast and steal my idea.
That's true.
Because really, what's the minions of this? Would it be the Olaf? Like if they wanted to spin one of these off into its own thing?
I mean, there's already the short, I forget which movie it was before, but the Olaf Christmas special, because Christmas is a thing in Arendelle, I guess.
So they have
Yeah.
they have that special, but they also have a special where Elsa has a cold, and every time she sneezes, she creates these little snow creatures, which are actually called I think they're called snoogies, like snow boogies.
Oh boy.
And
They may as well just call them Sninions or
yeah,
something.
yeah, pretty much. But they were only in that short, and we haven't really seen them since. And I'm curious if they'll show up in Frozen 2.
Huh. I've never seen any of the supplementary Frozen material.
It's not great, to be
The-
totally
This
honest.
definitely seems like a Minions-y kind of, like, let's see if this works.
I will say that the short with where Elsa was sick was way more enjoyable than the Olaf Christmas special thing that they tried to do.
I forgot
Which one's the one that was an hour and 45 minutes in front of Coco?
That was that one, the
that-
Christmas
that's
special.
right. I was gonna say I forgot what movie they did it for, but it was definitely for. And I remember telling Michelle, we could be a half hour late to Coco because this short is terrible, but we still came on time, and it was like, oh
Well,
goodness.
I wasn't not gonna
Ugh.
see it.
Yeah, fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's why you got your Disney creds.
Yeah.
That's why you have your card.
Does Olaf control them?
No.
Do they bow to him as their superior snowman?
They might. I don't remember because I haven't watched that short in a while. He
Mm.
doesn't control them because I know that Elsa created them, but I think that they're
Right.
sentient the same way that he is. They just might have more of like a hive mentality.
Huh. Man. All right. Ooh, I can't wait to nitpick some of these things because, yeah, that's a
Yeah, we
that's
have
a
some good
wild.
ones.
I didn't know these guys existed at all. I'm gonna have to watch a tiny bit of this just to see what they do.
It's pretty short.
Yeah. Is it Frozen Fever? I'm assuming
Yeah, it
that's what
is.
this is.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll see if I can find it. All right, DJ, Michelle, what do you guys think of Frozen? You like this movie?
Oh, I
Where
love
does
Yeah.
it rank among your Disney movies?
Oh God, all of them.
Yes, every single one. And do all the ones that are like Flinsley and Rango from 1955. And it's like a guy with a cowboy hat and a chicken.
All
I
right,
want
so
to go through everything on Disney Plus, starting with obviously Song of the South is at the bottom. We'll skip that one. Rank all of the episodes of X-Men Evolution and Corey's in the House or whatever.
all right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put aside. We're obviously gonna put aside. My goodness, all the like Marvel and all that stuff, right? That's all going away.
Yeah, just the animated stuff with princesses mostly.
It's
Throw Wreck-It Ralph in there too.
Oh God, I think it's in my. I want to say it's in my top. It sounds so dumb and specific, but top 15. I'm gonna throw it in my top 15. Top 10. It's probably in my top 10.
What if we just scaled it down to princess movies? Because I think that if you scale it down to just the princess movies,
Oh, it's in my top
Yeah.
5. If it's just princess movies, it's in my top 5.
yeah, I think it might be in my top 3 for princess movies. Like it being the third.
Oh well, what's the first two?
So Princess and the Frog is my favorite princess movie, and then I would have to say Tangled, and then Frozen.
See, so I definitely have Mulan above Frozen just because I love Mulan. I'm trying to think what else I would put above that. Yeah, probably Princess and the Frog. But yeah, it's definitely in my top 5. If I were like probably go
That's
through
so-
and look at all of them.
None of you guys, not like Aladdin or Beauty and the
Oh,
Beast.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, it was
What
like
about
top
those guys?
5. Yeah, I'd still go top 5.
Yeah, I mean those
Interesting.
are up there for me. They're just not my top 3. And I don't know if it's like a newness thing because like the other movies are
Yeah.
pretty. Although I really resonate with like Tiana, which is why I think I like that movie so much.
Just the hustle and bustle.
Yeah, like work hard for what you get kind of thing. Also, here's another fun fact. That was the last 2D animated movie by Walt Disney Pictures,
Yeah.
Is
Until-
that true? Not even
Yeah.
a little Winnie the Pooh one?
which no, I don't think so. I think that the Princess and the Frog was after that. But
I've never seen that Winnie the Pooh one. I hear it's funny.
the Heffalump one.
They made like one. It's kind of recent. So Princess and Frog was 2009. Winnie the Pooh, not the one where he's like a monster that haunts you in McGregor. I've never seen that. It seems terrifying. No, so they made a movie in 2011, and it's
Oh.
I believe this is technically the last Disney movie, and I've heard kind of maybe rumors that the person in charge of it at some level in Disney executive culture, they were like, I don't want these to be we're not doing any more 2D animated ones, and they put this out at a time where it was destined to fail. Specifically, like they released it right against something else.
You know what's funny is I remember trying to see that movie in theaters, but it was only playing during like matinee times. Like there was no like nighttime showings available for it. So I like never had the opportunity to actually go see it.
It's not too. Oh, you know what? I bet I know why. It opened the same day as Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part
Oh my
2.
God.
Yeah.
The second
So,
one? Oh
yeah,
my
legend
God.
has it that some Disney executive wanted to sync Disney 2D animation specifically, and that's why they put Winnie the Pooh here.
Oh, look
That
at
is such a fucking, like, purposeful berry. Like,
Yeah,
that's so obvious.
right?
Oh my God. That's so crazy. Oh, Disney. Forever in our
Yeah.
hearts.
So Piglet's probably my favorite Disney princess. Piglet's a dude. I guess it would be Kanga? Is Kanga the only female in that society?
Goodness.
I think so.
Yeah, at least the immediate. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
So yeah, Kanga's pretty cool.
We
Just
don't know
gotta
what
deal with
we don't
her
know what
nonsense.
Eeyore identifies as.
That's true. I'd say I feel like the old Disney movies are higher than almost all of this for me. Like I like Princess and the Frog a lot. I haven't seen it nearly as many times as I've seen like Beauty and the Beast, but I would say Beauty and the Beast is definitely my number one. Mulan's up there. Like if princess movies, I don't know. Aladdin's also really high on my list. I enjoyed Tangled more than Frozen.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think Tangled is. I think Tangled just has more like we'll kind of get to it, but there's certain things about this movie that are a little like that I think overstay their welcome. Specifically one character who I get quite tired of.
Oh, I know who it
And
is.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't think Tangled has that. I think Tangled is it's mostly just the two of them, right? And then her chameleon is like her little animal friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the horse
Yeah, I
is
was gonna
like...
say in the horse.
also
Oh, horse is
there.
great. He's
yeah,
the best
horse
one.
is great.
Does sword fighting with his mouth. Yeah. Oh, Tangled's awesome. I got to Tangled again. But yeah, so I would say this is probably top 5. I don't know. Princess and the Frog I like a lot. Mulan. Are there any others I'm forgetting? Pocahontas.
Beauty and the Beast. That has a
Yeah.
sauce. Well, you love
Sleeping
Gaston,
Beauty.
right? That's your... yeah.
Oh, yeah, Sleeping Beauty.
Snow White.
Yeah. Sleeping Beauty's not bad.
Uh,
It's weird, but
I've
it's
never
the old
seen it,
one, so it's
actually.
okay. You've never seen Sleeping Beauty?
yeah, this is a point of
know.
contention
I-
for me and Michelle.
We were going through Disney Plus, and he was like, "I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
Oh, man.
I haven't seen that." And I was like, "You're breaking my heart."
Oh, I'm,
Oh, my gosh.
I'm a right damn fool.
What if, as you were going through Disney Plus, he's like, haven't seen that, haven't seen that, haven't seen that. And then you gave him the remote, and he went back through all his favorite movies, which are all those movies with, like, a farmer posing with the chicken, and just, like, 50 of those from, like, 1964 to 1972. And
This
you
is-
haven't seen any of the Chicky and Jumbo movies? What?
Well, actually, I want to
Warms
get
my
him
heart.
to watch the Three Caballeros movie, which is
Oh, have you
yeah, I
seen
want to
that one
watch
either?
that. No, I want to though.
That one's fun.
The ride's great. I love the ride.
I mean, Sleeping Beauty, it's good. It's been done a couple times. Like, obviously, it's the Maleficent movie is that. Have you seen the Maleficent movie?
No,
the first one.
I haven't.
Oh,
Not the newer
yeah, the
one.
Angelina Jolie one. Like, it'd be so funny if you had seen that, but you hadn't seen Sleeping Beauty. And then you started watching Sleeping Beauty, you're like, boy, they're not giving this Maleficent a fair shake. Winners write history, I guess. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, what's the one? Atlantis? People like Atlantis?
Yeah, Atlantis.
I think I
is
saw
great.
that one once. I remember being like, this is fun. But yeah, Frozen's good. Frozen really does suffer from being the most successful one for me. And the oversaturation associated with that.
I mean, I could see that getting tiring because
It's tough, man, with that one song. If all 5 of those songs, or however many songs, there's 7 songs in this musical, if they all came out of the gate with relatively similar like popularity and it was spread out so we weren't hearing the same song every single time, I think I would have a very different feeling about just sitting down and watching Frozen.
okay. I
But-
get that.
Same.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will see.
We will see.
Do you want to get to the nitpicks?
Yeah, let's talk nitpicks.
All right.
DJ, you have the wheel this time.
Yeah, I do. I tried to put this in the best order I can, and some of them are like really superly specific nitpick, and then others are kind of broad. So we'll just go on this journey and see where it takes us.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have to preface that like that.
Well then, D Jesus, take the wheel.
All right.
D Jesus?
J-
I don't know, man.
God, this has gone off the rails already. God.
God.
Okay. So the first one. So when they're kids, right? Remember the scene when? So I have this one as Elsa is a bad sister. And do you remember when Anna's like, "Oh, come on, we gotta play in the snow," and this is before Anna gets her memory wiped. It's like really early in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Anna's like, she jumps from snow mound to snow mound, and Elsa is making the snow mounds progressively taller. So like you're going up stepping stones, and I'm like, why is she making them that tall? She could just be going around like 2-foot stepping stones the whole time. It's not like Anna's like higher, higher. So I think Elsa has bad instincts and is a terrible sister.
That's a great point.
Terrible judgment. So we're starting off from a terrible point.
And so remind me, what part of what memory was erased?
So anything that involved Elsa using any kind of magic was replaced with just random playtime memories.
So they have that memory, and then it's just like, Elsa stacked up a pile of 50 books, and then 70 books, and then you fell down after she threw a book at your head. Like,
I suppose.
Because then not that I'm questioning that part of the magic, but I'm like, I wonder if they've ever killed a sibling. And then the trolls were just like, remember this sibling as a chair, and there's just always the same chair in every memory. It's because Elsa tried to get that one to, like, I don't know, jump off the 3rd floor, window onto a very, very, very shallow pile of snow.
So, actually, I'm glad we're talking about the trolls, because there's a couple things with the trolls. So after the incident happens where Elsa hits Anna in the head with the ice powers, causing her head to be frozen and have the weird colored hair. So the father rushes to the bookcase and grabs a book and's like, "A map to the magic trolls, let's go." What is the royal family's relationship with the trolls? The Grandmaster Troll seems to know who the king is. Like what's the deal? How are they friends? I just have so many questions with well, Michelle, this is one of yours that you put, so I don't know if you want to take this one.
Right. So I did think it was suspicious that he automatically ran to the bookcase, pulled open this book, found the troll thing, and then rushed over there, convinced that they would be able to fix this problem, which means that he knows that there are trolls. He knows that they would be able to fix an issue like this. And like DJ said, it seems like they do know each other. And something that I was thinking about was, does his relationship with these troll people, who are magical in some sense, obviously, does his relationship with them have anything to do with the fact that his daughter has magical powers? Because that's,
I don't know.
Right, like nothing is confirmed, and it's all very like what if kind of thinking. But it's just a fun thought.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, and so magic obviously is real in this universe, but it seems to have just fallen from the sky into Elsa, I guess. So
yeah.
When she was born, did the trolls roll up, and tell the king, "Hey, trolls are real. Here's a book to find us. Your daughter's magic. Goodbye."
Yeah. That's a good point, because the extent to which magic exists in this universe is pretty vague, or like what people are willing to believe. Like, do you think you could tell any random Arendelian, like, by the way, I have this book, here's a map to some trolls, they're real, go check them out? If people would be like, what a nutcase, there's no such thing as trolls.
Well, it's weird, because the beginning song is the ice guys, they're like, there's magic in ice and we harvest it, ice is powerful magic. So
what's
magic
the deal with that song, by the way?
I have no idea.
In that song, do they say that ice is magic? Because I know that they say that the ice is powerful.
Oh god, do they? Hold on, I have to look
I don't know that they ever use the word magic. I think that they just say that ice is powerful and that it's like strong.
Do you know what the name of that song is?
No, but if you look up the Frozen soundtrack, it
Frozen
is
Heart.
the first song.
It's Frozen Heart.
The song's called Ice is Magic, DJ. I really, having seen this movie a billion times, every single time it starts, I go, what is this? And then by about 5 minutes in, I forgot I saw it. So it never sticks with me. And at the end, I'm like, why was there that? And I guess the only reason is to introduce, what's his name? Kind
Krista?
of. Yeah, that's the only story reason plays. Because those people aren't the Arendelians, right?
I don't know. It's not
They don't
clear.
seem to be. it's not like the Arendellians have ice, right? Like that's like they're. It's also weird because we don't see other societies in this movie.
I think that the only time that you see like the leaders of some of the other societies who visit during Elsa's coronation.
Right. I guess it's more we don't see any other, like, we don't see the king of these guys show
Right.
up and look different. They all just kind of look like kings, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, if someone drew 15 kings and then one's tall, one's short, one's got red, one's got purple. But
so
yeah, like,
real quick,
I don't get it.
real quick, I'd like to take my layup. So beautiful, powerful, dangerous, cold. Ice has a magic, can't be controlled. Stronger than 1, stronger than 10, stronger than 100 men. So they do acknowledge that ice has magic.
And it's stronger than 100 men.
That's what they say.
In what way? Like a car? It's got how much manpower does Elsa's ice have? Oh, it's got more than 100 manpower. That's insane. How can that move? I don't even know what that kind of means. It's that cold. It's as cold as 100 guys.
Yeah, look, I'm just reading the lyrics. Ice is magic,
Man.
rah, rah, rah. Ice is magic, let's go ice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't like that. How long is this movie?
It's
Is
an
it-
hour
Hour
40, I want to say.
So
Frozen.
it isn't even like they needed this to pad the runtime. Like, look, somebody
Yeah.
write a song real quick.
It's actually hour.
Ice. All right, we'll just put some random video on and some people cutting ice, I guess, and then make one of the guys part of it, and that's it. We'll open the movie with 25 minutes of that.
So there's an argument someone can make to tell me that this is the one not good song in Frozen. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it because in the movie's defense, it's a great introduction into like the world we're in. Like, oh, it's very Nordic. There's these ice harvesters. They kind of are giving a little foreshadowing to, thawing a frozen heart and the ice is magic, rah, rah, rah. So it's a bit of table setting that I don't think is terrible. So in the movie's defense, I would go to bat for this song. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just think that the other songs are so much stronger. But
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say that this is a bad song. It's just not memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the weakest song out of the movie, and it's the first one.
That
So
is
anyway,
so weird, though.
So just going to your question, Nando, like if you were to go to these ice harvesters and be like, hey, there's trolls, right? They'd be like, yeah, there's trolls. We all know about the trolls. We let the trolls abduct our children, which is a seamless transition into my next point. So the king takes Anna and Elsa, and the whole family trip out to see the trolls. Let's go.
Right.
Please heal my daughter. And the troll king goes, yes. And I'll get to that in a second, what he says. But Kristoff and Sven are there, and one of the lady trolls just is like, hey, you're mine now. Welcome to the family. What?
Yeah. In fact, her exact words are, "You're cute. I think I'll keep you."
Like,
Yeah.
what? So this is one thing one, do they do this regularly? Do they abduct children? Are there other Kristoffs running around they're like, yep, trolls are my parents.
Right.
And who were Kristoff's parents?
Yeah,
This
that's
is
my
being
question.
frank.
Because we see him with the ice carvers in the beginning, and he's clearly traveling around with them. Like, he has the tools, he's working next to them, and then all of a sudden, like, he's on his own, and then he gets, like, abducted by this troll.
Yeah, like, what are we doing here, people? Are we just abducting children? Does the king know about this? Someone should tell the king. If he has a working relationship with, the trolls, someone tell the fucking king these trolls are abducting children.
Yeah. How do the trolls even know about the king? Like,
Oh, you got me, dude.
Do they abduct a kid and then just ask the kid, like, hey, what's going on in the kingdom, by the way? We haven't really been in a while because we're trolls, but I just need to know who's the president, what's fashionable.
We'll raise you. You're our news source, Don't worry. Don't get nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just pretty bizarre.
It is bizarre. It's really weird now that I think it's super weird. The trolls, and you know what? I think this movie's pretty tight. I think the trolls kind of stick out a little bit. If I'm cutting one thing, it's the trolls. I like them, but just totally, they don't fit.
Fixer Upper is such a good song, though.
I know.
I
and
will
that's
go
the
to bat
problem.
so hard for Fixer Upper. I love that song.
Well, so DJ and I saw the Broadway play not too long ago. And in the Broadway play, they made the the trolls, the creatures that that help the royal family. More
Spoiler
like
alert, by the way. For
oh
the,
yeah, sorry.
but whatever. Like, skip ahead a minute if you don't want to know.
Right. So the characters they're not really like cartoony like trolls. They're like these like imp characters. Like they kind of like have like these long tails and these big ears, and they're more like forest imps. Which it definitely fit better with like the whole theme of like the show, and like I imagine the movie too, because the trolls that they currently have definitely feel a little just a little out of place, like a little too cartoony, which I know is silly to say for a cartoon movie.
Is
Yeah,
that
but they do feel very like 2D animation-y in a way that the rest of everything else doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there something besides that that's kind of out of place in terms of like how they look? Is that like are trolls like a Nordic thing? Because if they're going for a theme there, I could see why they would go for that.
Yeah, trolls are like kind of a Nordic thing.
So I guess that's a reason that's acceptable.
And that's fine. I think it's just how they decided to design these trolls that I think like some of the design decision, like they made them very round is the one thing that like I don't understand. And I guess it's
like they
to
don't
make
look
them
like rocks.
They look like they're trying to be more like approachable or like not scare children kind of thing.
Right.
And I mean, I guess it worked out for Disney because there's a Trolls movie, just not that.
But that's like
so good job, I guess.
Isn't that like is that Trolls movie? I've never seen any of the Trolls movies, but aren't those Trolls movies based off of like the old toys?
Oh heck yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's a little different.
Oh yeah, I was being coy. Yeah.
Do you think the dad ever went back to check on the trolls?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, the dad
just like
died.
You guys hooked me up
like
immediately
prior
though?
to that. No. There's a gap.
Oh, like do you think within that in between time that he went back?
Yeah, just learn their magic or whatever.
Like here's
just
what's
in
going
case.
on.
I think this all ties back into we don't know what the dad's relationship with the trolls is.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe he already knows. Like maybe he knows about their magic and knows that he can't do it because he's a human.
He's a puny human.
Right.
Um.
Maybe we should start abducting troll children.
Oh,
Even
how
the
about that?
odds.
That's an idea.
Get one of them, raise it like the one from like a Tarzan or something like that, you know? We got one, you got one. Yours is a weirdo who thinks he's a horse or whatever, or thinks he's a reindeer. And ours is doing all the magic, making all the food. It solved the energy crisis. Way to go, trolls.
You did it.
Like, can we blame the trolls for everything that's weird about Hans?
Oh,
or
yes.
sorry, Kristoff. Wait, which is
yeah.
which?
Kristoff.
You're right. It's Kristoff.
Yeah, Kristoff.
And we 100% can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have full agency to just say Kristoff is broken because of the trolls.
Oh, he's not broken. He's just a little awkward.
He's a little of a fixer-upper. Fair enough.
He talks to his horse and then makes it talk like a person.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's very strange.
Well, he doesn't know like how to be socially acceptable.
Yeah, and that's why him and Anna are a perfect fit.
True.
That's true. They don't play by anyone's rules but their own. She likes to be social and be fun, and he thinks that his reindeer's talking to him. He doesn't think the reindeer's talking to him, right? He knows he's talking to himself.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope.
He
I
does
don't know,
claim
yeah.
to understand what the reindeer is saying, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
like a Chewbacca Han Solo situation, kind of.
Yeah, but like, I guess the only difference is that Han Solo can actually understand Wookiee.
Right.
So
That would be an amazing Star Wars movie, though, if just Han Solo has this big Chewbacca thing, and then he's sitting down, and he's like, hey, yeah, I drive the Millennium Falcon, and then he just like mouths next to him, and I'm Chewbacca, I'm his friend. This is Chewbacca. I know it's hard to understand what he's saying, but he's my friend. He's a Wookiee. Or whatever. I made that up. He's very clever.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah. What do you think? Oh man, yeah, the trolls. No, there's so much about the trolls though, about them that like confuses me.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's an attempt to do the Minions thing, but it definitely feels out of place. I will definitely agree that the trolls just feel super out of place. So
Yeah, do you think like there's a guy at Disney who's just like Because it seems like this, if you look back at like Moana, right? Speaking of princess movies, I forgot existed. If you look back at Moana, there are a couple points where it's like, well, what's the princess of this movie? Is it the chick, or not the princess? What's the minions of this movie? Is it the chicken, or is it the pig, or is it him as a shark, or like what are they trying to spin off into its own thing? But with this, it does seem very much like there's an executive who's just like, oh, okay, so he's riding a reindeer. We're gonna see if we can turn that into something, and then these trolls. Let's see if we can spin this off into its own property. Whereas I assume Minions was just kind of like, these are the ones. I haven't seen... Have you guys seen Despicable Me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I assume they're the only thing like them in that movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so one last thing regarding the trolls in this early sequence, and then I promise we jump ahead. We don't just, do this whole time. So the next thing is... So the troll is pretty unequivocally clear with the king. All right, fear is bad. You have to embrace your emotions, and if fear happens, the powers will go crazy. And so the father's instant reaction is, all right, we're gonna lock her away in the basement like a weird child who we can't let out because he shoots rats all the time with his BB gun. So
yeah.
we're just gonna hold firm and just pretend like she doesn't exist. That'll work fine. That's weird, right? It's not good parenting. It feels like poor judgment, if I may.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with this point that the troll leader was definitely fear is your worst enemy, and then the immediate reaction was, okay, let's fire all the help and let's close the windows and everything, and we'll seclude the daughter and definitely make her feel like she is different than everyone else and really make her worry about these powers that she has. And it was that definitely was not the correct way to approach this.
Do you think they consider just giving her to the trolls? You want this one too? Seems like you guys kind of have a better handle on this. We'll pick her up when she's 18 and you've normally socialized her, or at least as much as you're going to socialize this one. But you guys are the ones that we had to call the one time there was ever a magic emergency. Seems like you're probably more suited to have her than us.
Maybe they should have kept her.
Right? Send
Guys,
her off
it's
to
her
Professor
daughter.
Xavier's School of Trolls or whatever.
What are you doing?
Well, they could have visited her.
The Troll King gave such clear instructions on what to do.
Yeah, but they're idiots. So why would he, I mean, maybe the Troll King should have stolen Elsa. Once,
her.
Kristoff comes back one time, hey, how's Elsa doing, by the way? Oh, she's locked up. You can't even... She might as well be dead. And they're like, okay, we have to stage a little troll rescue mission. Everyone roll in a single file towards the castle. Or maybe we can melt the walls. Who knows what we do. But, yeah. It seems like there were other options. Also, if you're going to put her in the... if you're going to pretty much wall off your daughter, just kill her. Just cut her head off.
Whoa, what the hell?
If you're doing a Dark Phoenix story, it's going to end one or two ways, maybe, I guess. This way, which is the best case scenario, or the one where she explodes and destroys the whole planet.
What did happen to this episode?
This is Dark Phoenix. Every story about a girl with powers is Dark Phoenix.
I mean,
Umbrella Academy, this...
If they were to do the live action Frozen movie that's definitely coming out in 3 years, that would totally be the story, right? We can all agree that that's what would happen.
Probably. And then also maybe I have such trouble with, because there's magic, right? But there's so many different kinds of magic in this universe, almost clashing with one another.
Can you give an example?
Well, Elsa and the trolls, right? It doesn't seem like she came from them. She is some other kind of almost X-Man-like magic. She was just born all weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're trolls.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just strange to me. Well, it's kind of like with the X-Men and then Doctor Strange. And it's how many versions? Is every magical character we're ever going to meet just a new kind of thing? Is it ever going to sync up?
Do we need another super... I mean, we don't know what's happening in Frozen 2, but yeah, do we need another kind of superhero in the Frozen universe? Is that what you're getting at?
I wonder.
Oh, I mean, I don't
know.
It's
just because of how tangentially related Elsa is to the trolls, but not in any specific way. I just don't like the trolls. Get rid of them. Fire all the trolls. By the way, you know who does the voice of the main troll?
Who?
Steppenwolf.
Oh, really?
Yep. Kieran Hides.
That's bizarre.
I know. He that's why he was probably like, God, more voice acting money? Yes, please, Zack Snyder. This was such a huge thing for me. This won't be a gigantic blemish on my record. All right, what else do we got on the wheel?
All right, so we're jumping way ahead now. We're going to basically the middle of the movie. So, one thing that we were trying to fully understand while we were watching, what are the limits of Elsa's powers? Because she seems to have Superman-like powers. But it scales like something even beyond exponentially. It scales incredibly. So she starts with just like, okay, I've frozen over Arendelle. It's kind of messy. But then once she embraces kind of her emotions, I guess, like, I'm totally free as we go into Let It Go. It's almost like she lifts up the Superman barriers that she had in place and is now at God tier Ice Queen. There is nothing she cannot do. It goes from 0 to 1 billion.
Yeah, I agree with this one too. She goes from like not being able to control anything to being able to like make a perfectly beautifully crafted like ice staircase that she crafts as she's running up it, as well as like the castle itself. Like she just all of a sudden gains all of these powers.
She's not winded. She doesn't have to take a break. And it's the finest ice sculpture, and it's crazy. When the people come, she could fight with it. There's truly no limit to what she can do. You just gotta trip her up with bad news about her sister, and then have her be knocked unconscious by a giant chandelier falling down. Outside of that, she's unstoppable.
Well, it seems like, I mean, her power is in a very Dark Phoenix-y way, very much like, I guess, mood and confidence based, but there is a huge gap between like, hey, here's some bad news. Oh no, you got shackles. You're done. Get out of here. Also, so her power is hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
She can't do this with her feet.
As far as we've seen.
Yeah,
except we have seen her step on stuff and have it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it is feet. It's definitely feet too.
So in the end of the movie, they handcuff her, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going crazy.
Yep.
How does she get out of that?
She freezes it all, and
Right.
then
Oh, okay.
has her cell like collapses structurally because it can't hold all the ice. I guess, even though, as we know, ice is stronger than 100 men.
That's true. Does the ice come out of her hands in that moment?
No, she's like freezing everything around her. We actually never see the shackles break. The cell just collapses and then she's gone. So
And they
we
show
never
the
get to see
broken
that.
shackles.
No, they
Right.
don't.
No, they do.
I looked for.
They show the
You
broken shackles like on the ground.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, we never see her actually like get away from them.
Right,
There's just
right.
like handless shackles on the ground that were frozen. They're still intact though, which is weird. It's not like she shattered them.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, that's
they broke
true.
at the seam kind of thing.
Yeah.
She slipped her hand right out.
Yeah, it's like I cold
made it
and
real
it slipped.
slippery like ice. I superpowers, man. Hers are so like vague and whatever that it's kind of almost like close to like Magneto, where Magneto does stuff. He like waves his hands around a lot, but he doesn't really have to. It's just kind of for fun because he can just think and then stuff also happens around him. Like,
yeah.
she has that, but with ice, which you never see. It's always like Iceman, where you just either have to physically be touching something or you like shoot an ice like stream out of your hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She actually, Bob was watching this a little bit with us, and he actually made the comment. She's just Iceman, right? And we're like, well, a god level Iceman, because Iceman could not do the things that she can do.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say not even a little bit, but he brings it to an entirely new level.
It would take him forever.
That's true. To make the castle that Elsa makes would take him decades.
And his would look all shitty. The doors wouldn't close properly because he's not an engineer. Like, it would just be, it would be a big frozen thing. But I don't think it would work this well. Also, Elsa and Anna can Elsa can control like heat generally, I guess. Right? She can make the ice go away.
Yeah, when she fully masters it at the end of the movie, because she unfreezes Arendelle and makes it summer again.
Right. So she's got a lot of powers.
I don't know that I would say she has the power of heat as much as I would say that she has the power to take back the cold or like
Ice
disperse it.
reduction.
Because they show her like disperse it like from Arendelle. Like she makes a
That's
big
true.
snowflake and then like she has it like disintegrate in the air.
Yeah, the ice goes like back into the atmosphere
Right.
from whence it came,
Right.
into space or whatever.
I like the idea that there's a version of this movie where she can't do that, but she still like grows emotionally and she goes back to Arendelle and they're like, all right, so fix this. She's like, oh, I make ice. We have this now. We have to wait for a while, but I don't know why you think I could just suck this back up into my body or something. So, yeah, I mean, start setting fires? I don't know. It's not my job anymore. I make ice. I don't make no ice. Unmake ice.
We call this new Arendelle. It's just all the time. That's true, because Iceman can't take away ice,
Of
right?
course not. That would be insane. That would be like way too much power for one guy. Because then you would assume he could just absorb, like then you just have power over temperature and stuff. It make things hot, make things cold.
Oh, man. I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
No,
Elsa's
it's
way
pretty
too
good.
powerful. She's way too powerful.
They got lucky that she went in this direction with it.
Well,
'Cause she could also just set the whole town on fire and everybody dies, you know?
the other
was-
part.
Yeah, that was emotional response B.
So the other part of this, there's a part of me that wants this to not be like a Disney movie, and they go super dark with it. So let's say Elsa powers fell into the wrong body, like she could just go full. If there's not a lot of other magic users, and assuming there's no troll army, she could go full like I'm gonna conquer Europe and just use her ice powers to just take over everything.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Even
Who
if you
would stop
believe in
her?
all of the not dumb, but I guess the Tangled one isn't dumb. The Tarzan one, I think, is dumb. But even if you believe in the connectivity of all of this, it's like none of those guys could stop her. Like, I don't think.
I'm
Do you think
sorry.
Tangled could beat Frozen in a fight?
Oh no, not
No,
even.
absolutely not.
Yeah, and then Tarzan's just gonna get his ass kicked
But
too.
I did want to bring up a point about the connectivity of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So in the very beginning of the movie, when Anna's singing for the first time in forever, she's dancing sort of out of the gate, and in one of the scenes, for like half of a second, you can see Rapunzel and Flynn walking into the gate.
Right. Yes.
So definitely connected, confirmed, right? Like
Mhm.
that's gotta be.
But does she have powers anymore?
No, she cut her hair off.
Yeah.
She has
So
nothing.
Anna's gonna run right through her or Elsa. Anna probably could too.
Could we
They could beat her up.
could we do like a Rooster Teeth style death battle?
Every single Disney character versus Elsa. You need a genie. That's your best bet.
I mean even Tangled with powers, could she beat Elsa?
I don't think so. Although she has
She has the
healing
power to
powers.
like heal it. Yeah.
So
I don't
could
think that
heal
would help.
the ice. Yeah. Well, maybe she could wrap around her hair around the ice, and that has some intrinsic heat, I imagine.
Is there a character that's fire? That big old dragon from
Oh,
Fantasia.
Mushu.
Get that guy back.
Mushu's fire.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Dragon. I'm a dragon. So, oh yeah, Mushu versus Elsa. I think Mushu's got a shot.
DJ, one of these days you'll see this movie. It's really it's old and obscure, called Sleeping Beauty. Big old dragon in that too. So that thing could probably do some damage on Elsa.
Yeah, that might have a
But I
better
really-
chance than Mushu.
The amount of people she almost kills by accident by just like doing spikes. I feel like even if the dragon starts breathing fire at her, she could like make a shield of ice and then just throw a spike right at it and cut its head off. Like, I don't know. You would need really would need to be a genie. I think that's your best shot at stopping her.
Yeah.
Or like Hades or something.
Oh,
Right.
Hades. Oh man.
Any of the gods.
I think we could get a team up to beat Elsa. I
Yeah.
really think we get, even though if we're doing the connected thing, she's the Superman. Like she's the strong. I don't know, Zeus. I don't know.
Well, how about Triton? Because he's the other one that in this Tangled Frozen-averse where the ship that whatever her name is, Ariel's playing around with is the ship that the parents died on. or
Yeah,
something.
Oh.
that's what I've heard too.
Okay.
So maybe Triton could kill her with the power of the ocean?
All right.
I mean, she could freeze the ocean. Yeah, that's not going to work. She's going to have to kill everyone in his army of guys. May wish we had Ursula these times. Like, because Ursula could trick her. She seems pretty
Yeah, it's
trickable.
true.
Yeah, but Ursula went down so easily when the bow of the ship just like.
Yeah.
I feel like Elsa could just put together like an ice spike and do the same thing.
That's so true. Her like weakness is spikes. Just stand a chance. What about all of the ghosts from the end of Princess and the Frog that drag what's his name to hell? To get some
the
of them
voodoo
down,
ghosts.
they could probably do some work.
Yeah, that's a solid candidate.
Yeah, I think. I mean, because she's supernatural, but she's that very soft kind of like, like she's not the devil or Zeus, the king of all of the gods. She's kind of like a regular person with superpowers. So I think it's a little unfair to compare to them. But then when you cut those out of the picture, it's like Mulan. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do anything against her, even if they have the Lucky Cricket. There's nobody. Nothing stands in her way.
She's just too good. So that's why I said she's Superman.
Yeah.
I really think Maleficent might be the best shot.
No, I think so too. I think Maleficent, maybe even the fairies, someone with like some sort of really like that early days, really vague magical whatever, where it's just like you shoot stuff and then stuff happens. You're like, maybe they got a spell to just kill Elsa's specific one because this has happened in the past and they've had to go deal with it. Do you think this is happening all over the North, by the way? Because most of the Sleeping Beauty and Snow White all take place in lush forests and stuff. Do you think just every other country has some sort of ice princess disaster and all the rest of the Disney characters? Like, we're not going up there, by the way. It's a nightmare. Everybody's freezing everything. It sucks. We're staying down in the warm place.
Everyone knows about Arendelle. It's like, stay away. These guys are crazy.
Yeah. They got trolls, they got ice ladies, they have this other thing that we're definitely going to get to. They have so many problems. It would be insane for anybody to go up there on purpose.
Okay, so that's that, Elsa's powers. The next one I have, this is pretty closely related. This is like really nitpicky. I labeled this one pretty appropriately, Let It Nitpick. And this is Michelle's going to take this away, her commentary on the song Let It Go and how many nitpicks there are.
Okay. So first, I'd like to clarify, this has nothing to do with the song itself. This is primarily
yes.
Elsa's actions while she's singing. And I'm going to gloss over the whole power thing because we discussed that. My biggest nitpick for this movie is while Elsa's singing, she changes a few things that she shouldn't be able to change. So for example, while she's singing, there's one part of the movie where she takes her hair out. It's like fairly iconic where she changes her look and she becomes the new free her. But while she's doing it, so she takes her hair out and her hairstyle completely changes. And I don't just mean in a way where she was like wearing a ponytail and she took it down. I mean like prior to this action in the song, she had like short front bangs. And then she takes her hair out, and then all of a sudden her bangs become these long side bangs that she pushes back. And there's just that's not how hair works. And like that's not how that would work. If you took your hair out and you had short bangs, you would still have those short bangs. So that was a pretty like big one for me, and we sort of slow-moed the movie as she was doing that transition. And the way that they animate it is while she's taking her hair out, there's a part where she puts her head down and you can't see her bangs, and then when she picks it up, they're like the new lush, beautiful side bangs that are very like flowy and free.
Hold on a second, because I've actually never tried this. Let me try it real quick. Hold on. You put your foot down.
Yeah.
And then, it works like that. It's exactly what they did in the movie. Can you guys not do that? DJ, try it real quick.
Yeah. No, I just don't have that ability.
Oh, my God.
I never thought I would watch Let It Go frame by frame, but I did. So,
You're not the only one, DJ. I'm sure plenty of people have watched Let It Go frame by frame. Friend of the show, Paul DeCola. I'm sure he's seen it plenty of times.
Yeah, he has. He certainly has.
He loves it. And in that frame, isn't there also the bit where the hair goes through her arm?
Yes. I think I heard of that, but I couldn't. It's hard to like catch.
If you know where to look, you can find it. It's when she's brushing, like pushing the. It's over her left shoulder. She is pushing what is, I guess, post taking down the hair, but it's still like a long braid, and it goes like it cheats through her arm.
Is it possible, because we watched this on Disney Plus, is it possible Disney Plus removed it like they did the weird thing with Greedo?
Oh, maybe. You think George Lucas has power over Frozen as well? He can just stomp in and go like, fix this, make this guy the bad guy, make it so that he looks at this thing instead of this thing. Yeah, probably. That's probably it. That explains, you know what? That makes perfect sense. Because I can't even think of a funny joke for this. I was going to say the Jeff Goldblum show is originally supposed to have Jeff Goldblum, but actually it has someone else. I don't know. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a High School Musical joke. And I'm like, I don't know a damn thing about that show. And then I was like, is there any other Disney Plus content? And I couldn't remember what there was. Kristen Bell takes people back to high school or something.
Yeah, it's pretty on the nose.
Yeah,
Am I missing? Is there a fifth one?
Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys watch that, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it any good?
No.
It wasn't like bad. It made us really want to watch the original again.
And then we did.
And the props that I give this movie that the original didn't quite capture is that this movie is very pro adopt dogs from shelters. Whereas the original didn't quite like convey that so much. But I thought that was a nice message to send. And all the dogs that were used in this movie were shelter dogs that were that ended up being adopted by the cast and crew.
Where does it come down on making a coach out of 100 dogs? Is it pro or con? Every Disney movie needs to take a hard stance on whether all the dogs in it can be one coat or not.
It would be a not pretty coat.
Nice.
I
love the original one of those.
101
like I would
Dalmatians?
die for a Cocker Spaniel
No,
just
Lady
to
and the
like jump
Tramp.
and get the
Oh,
newspaper.
my bad.
You know?
yeah.
That was always my dream. It just gets the newspaper right in its mouth and brings it in. It's like, wow, that's perfect.
No slobber or nothing.
Yeah, because she's
Flawless.
a lady, DJ.
She is a lady.
What did they do about the racist cats?
Oh, they get a different song. They're like,
Yeah.
we're cats and we destroy everything. It was like a jazzy kind of song.
Oh, okay.
It was like, hey, we're cats. We're still dicks, but we're not racist. We just break everything.
It's really accurate what he just said. That's like pretty accurate.
I'm not
George
that
Lucas
off.
hates subtext. The text is on the screen. Okay, so wait,
yeah.
back to Let It Go.
Yes.
Sorry, I know I cut you off there with
No,
the hair
it's
thing.
fine.
But yeah, I don't know if it's in the Disney Plus one, but there is a version where you can kind of see her hair. I could probably find it. Anyway,
Right.
continue.
So in this song, she changes her hair completely, which is something that bothers me a little bit because it's just not that easy to change your hair, and it's not fair that she can do it so easily. But outside of that, aside of changing her hair, she also completely changes the dress that she's wearing, which should not fall under ice powers. It's not like she makes a dress out of ice and puts that dress on, because even then I would be able to be like, okay, well, she just used her powers to make an ice dress. No, she alters the dress that she's wearing and changes it into a brand new dress, and I don't know how that falls under her powers.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of, because this movie, I can only think about it in terms of X-Men. Everybody has costumes that they wear at all times. And then Storm just has a costume. And if she wants, she could just electrify her body sometimes. And it like melts up from like, it's almost like maybe what Storm is doing is like ripping the top layer of clothes apart with electricity to reveal what's underneath. But she also has a similar level of bullshit, like where it's like, come on.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
Storm's always in this weird spot where it's like, is she like a god or something? She might not be a mutant, but Elsa's definitely in that zone.
Right. I agree with that for sure.
So I just put the song in the chat. I queued it up to the point where if you watch it, and it's the same point you're talking about, but just watch the ponytail as it goes around her left shoulder.
Yeah, it clips right through. Michelle, while you're watching that, I want to bring up a point that, so Nando, you say that you can't think of this in anything but in terms of X-Men. I'm still stuck on this Superman thing, and the more that we discuss Elsa, and clearly that all of her powers are just magical bullshit, between the unlimited ice powers and the clothes and the hair and everything else, she may actually be able to beat Superman because she's utilizing magic, and Superman is weak to magic.
That's true.
So
maybe the trolls could beat him too.
They all just kind of like hit him, and it hurts
if
him
they all
because they're
work
magic
together.
rocks. Yeah,
Do some spell or whatever. Are we sure that Elsa is actually the parents' kid and she wasn't just birthed by the Force or something?
We never. I mean, honestly though, we never see anything to the contrary. So maybe.
Where's the long form birth certificate? That's what I want to know. I don't trust them if they don't show it to me. Because I don't know what her deal is with her, like, because she's So I would say if we're going to compare her to any superhero, and this isn't necessarily a deep cut, but if you, I wouldn't judge any of our listeners for having to Google Firestorm, but Firestorm is this guy, and how his powers work don't really make any sense, but his whole thing, if you looked at him from a distance, he's got like a yellow and red outfit, and his hair is on fire, and he frequently shoots like fiery energy at you. But what he can do in reality is just like manipulate, change, like rearrange things on a molecular level, right? So maybe Elsa has that power, but she just doesn't realize it, and she thinks she has ice powers, and she's maybe like there's a double lie that the trolls have told her, which first they told her, you have ice powers, but that's it. And then she almost killed Anna, and then they were like, okay, you don't even have ice powers. And then all she got back was one level of memory. But if she went one level down, it'd be like, no, you can like do whatever you want. You can fly, you can turn back time, like you have control over everything. She's Firestorm.
Man, I like this theory, Nando. I think it's got some legs.
I think it's it. Because it's also like, I mean, he's a science-y guy. His whole thing is like, he's like the nuclear man or something. So they would have a fight, and it would be very interesting. Because they're working with different decks of cards, but they can both get the same hand. So it's not like Superman, where it's like one of them beats the other one because the one is weak to the other. It's like, yeah, I don't know. They should make a crossover movie. Disney, buy Warner Brothers if you're listening. Michael Eisner, get back in the saddle and buy Warner Brothers so we can make this Frozen Firestorm crossover.
I feel like it's going to happen eventually.
I mean, he's just sitting on his hands with his Michael Eisner, this guy, whoever he is.
Bob Iger. Whose
idea was it to get two guys with the same name pretty much and make them both the CEO?
Michael Eisner and Bob Iger. All right.
If it was Iger and then, Spinelli, we would all know which is which.
Spinelli.
If Henry Ford was followed by like, Alexander Flork, it would be dumb. You'd be like, all right, there's not a better person to do this, so we don't all have to be confused all the time. Ugh.
Man.
Walt Disney is rolling in his refrigerator at the level of mismanagement when it comes to names. Any other Let It Go stuff? Because you're right. I mean, she does the clothes thing. It really feels like Storm. And I want to say in the first episode of the X-Men animated series, which you can, like I did, watch on Disney Plus, Storm does that in the mall. She like she's wearing just casual civilian clothes, and she uses electricity to like wipe her hands from head to toe, and just as her hands pass that part of her body, it turns into her Storm costume.
Oh.
And it's like, you make weather. That's not this.
Right. That's not your power. Which is the thing about this that like didn't make sense to me. Like, why are you able to make new clothing? Like, that doesn't fall under, unless it's that theory that you have, which seems to check out. But
I think she can do anything, and she's just really unimaginative. That's it.
I mean, she has been locked in her room for like most of her life, so.
Yeah. That'll do that to you. If only the trolls were able to raise her and get her to her true potential.
Could have been friends with reindeers.
So the only other nitpick that I have regarding this, her being able to manipulate her appearance, is that the last scene of Let It Go is her staring directly into the camera, saying like, the cold never bothered me anyway. But the big stark difference is that she is wearing so much more makeup than she was previously wearing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which again falls into that category of your powers should not be able to do this. How did you do this? Like, when she was during the coronation, she has a very natural sort of look on her face. So like, if she is wearing eyeshadow, you can't even tell. Her lips are like a more subtle shade of like red. And then after the song is over, she's wearing this bright purple shimmery eyeshadow, and her lips are like this dark red color, and she's got like this eyeliner on. It's just very like pronounced makeup.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now. You're right.
Yeah.
She really went overboard with her ice powers on her face.
Her eyebrows
Could you
like
freeze
sparkle,
your
and
face to make your lips more red. Is that a thing?
I think it's more
And,
of
like-
like you could make yourself look paler in comparison.
Yeah, maybe that's what she did. Also, like the way that her ice is lit sometimes, it looks really purple.
Yes.
So maybe she also has the power of the light or something. The
She
power
has
of
every
light.
power.
Yeah. I think she's just. You ever seen? Did you ever watch the Justice League animated series?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the animated series, Michelle?
Yeah, I used to watch it a lot.
Okay, I'm trying to think of the name of the episode. I can't remember what it was. But there was one where they went back in time, kind of, to some sort of like alternate dimension where it was the 50s. And it's like Green Lantern, Flash, and I want to say like Martian Manhunter, all went back to this weird, like, Pleasantville, kind of like, what's going on here? And there were superheroes, and they're like, my name's the I don't even know, Ultraman or whatever. And it is revealed at the end of the episode that there's this child that's just controlling everything, and he's got all kinds of weird superpowers, and he just wants these things to be happening, so he's kind of like willing them into existence. Maybe that's what her powers are. Maybe it's even worse than Firestorm, where she just has like complete control over everything.
I mean, sure. At this point, I will believe anything. You could convince me that Elsa has it's the Matrix developed by Elsa, and she's Neo, and that's her power.
Yeah.
I will believe that.
If you had to kill her, how would you do it?
Oh man,
Try to burn her? That'd be my first guess, but that's probably not it.
you can't lock her in a block of ice. That's impossible.
Oh, cold doesn't even bother her. Do you think she needs to breathe air?
Oh man, is this your theory that in The Boys, every all of them could be killed by suffocating them?
Yeah, right? I don't know, but I'm not convinced because she goes up, like, climbs up a mountain, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's where she puts her big old castle.
yeah.
There's not usually that much air up there.
Oh well, I mean, we don't know the elevation of Arendelle, so like I'll
You can
I'll
look
give
at
him
the
that.
picture. It looks like the air would be quite thin, where she is singing specifically.
Okay.
Like, she's in, like, the Alps. Where is this supposed to be, by the way? Like, Norway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least
So,
that's what
like-
Epcot wants us to believe.
Oh, right. So, yeah, she's definitely going to be passing out. Any normal person would be passing out at this temperature, except she doesn't need to breathe air because she's fine.
I mean, okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yes. Okay. So, do you have any more Let It Go nitpicks, Michelle?
No, those were the three main things.
Okay.
I have one question about Let It Go, right?
Please.
So, it's a movie. So, Let It Go, like we're saying, it's like probably, around like halfway through the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say a day and a half, 2 days is the length of this entire movie. Not too much
Yeah.
time passes.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, like, Let It Go happens at night. And then I would say probably that next, like, 12 hours later, Anna and the rest of them show up. Like,
Yeah.
what's she doing for those 12 hours? There's nothing in the castle. She's just, like, bouncing a ball against a wall, waiting for people to show up.
That is a great question.
Like,
What does
she's
she
just up there
eat?
like, oh, I see where I made a mistake. I should have just kind of went with it. I'm going to go back down now and fix their problems, and then I'll just be queen down there, because that's where the stuff is.
Well, I mean, she was like locked in her room for so many years, and then
That's
I
true.
guess you could raise the same question of what did she do during that time?
Yeah, she wouldn't even know what to do. She just
Yeah.
sat in the corner for those 12 hours. I was like, this is it. Yeah. Now I
This
got
is
my
the
own room. It's
height.
bigger. This is what I like to do.
It's all about trying to find stuff you like. You know, that's what they
She's
say is the
she
hardest
just-
thing in this world.
I mean,
So-
she seems happy.
yeah, until Bubble Buster Anna comes in and is like, hey, we're all screwed. And then she gets really
Yeah.
upset again. So ignorance is truly bliss. So that's true what they say.
Let's all go into the mountains. Live out our dreams. Live our truth.
Go up into the Himalayas, like some of those, like just people who live up there. And
Yeah.
All right, I'm down. You guys want to stop the podcast now? We'll head out.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
What else do we got, DJ?
Okay. So that's it on Let It Go. So I got four more, and they're all pretty quick because I think we've exhausted a lot of what goes on in this movie. But
Yep.
So Anna treks up to Elsa, and she would have died. Or Anna also has some unclear superpowers that we are not aware of.
Yeah. Maybe like Elsa is allowing her to live. She's like bringing pockets of air up to her secretly with her mind.
Right.
Yeah.
But like not even just the air thing. So in regards to that timeline of so she runs away when it's nighttime, and
Yep.
they show Anna on a horse during the daytime heading towards Elsa's castle, and
yeah.
the horse gets spooked, and so Anna falls off the horse at some point during the daytime. It's not clear what point it is, but at some point during the daytime she falls off this horse, and mind you, she's in a dress and a cloak and like flats, if not heels. And she's trekking through snow that looks like it's like 2 feet high. And she's trekking on it up until it's nighttime again. So even if it's like not early in the day, like let's say it's a little bit later in the day, that's still hours worth of time before she gets to the point where she's like, she falls into a lake. And then she gets inside. She definitely would have had at least frostbite and would have had to like lose a few toes.
Yeah, that's true.
But so then she so this really like became noticeable to me during the point where she goes inside the Wandering Oaks trading post, and she goes inside and like her dress is frozen because she fell in the lake, but outside of that she seems fine.
Yeah.
And then so Kristoff comes in shortly afterwards, and he's covered in snow, like head to, like the difference is so like black and white that it's clear that he was outside in snow, but her, who is not wearing any kind of winter anything, looks fine. Like, just her dress is just a little frozen.
There's actually like 2 points in the movie where for some reason Kristoff is caked in snow, and I think his superpower is he's like attracted to snow, or snow attracts to him.
Ooh.
So I think they all have these little discrete superpowers, and that's his.
To just let them cheat the animation or something? Like,
Yeah, I don't
whatever
know.
the animation lies to us with, it's just like her superpower is her hair can do bangs, and I don't think he's quite as powerful as her. But then, yeah, Anna has a like super like survival power,
Yes,
right?
she
Like
must.
Darwin or something in the
Well-
X-Men. She just can't be killed.
The conclusion that Bob and I came to while we were watching is that maybe Elsa imprinted some of her powers into Anna after she hit her in the head with the snow, much like Voldemort imprinted himself onto Harry Potter. That's all I could come up with.
So Elsa needs to kill like only one of them can die.
Yeah, neither can live while the other one does, or something like that. One must die. I don't know.
I
They
don't
both
know.
can't
I saw
live.
Winnie the Pooh that day. I didn't see Harry Potter. I went right to Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I don't know. Anna has that like level of just I'm headstrong. I'm gonna do it, and it is a little much because it's so this. If I didn't know what snow was and I saw this movie, I'd be shocked when I actually touched it. Be like, oh
Yeah,
my
right.
god, this is so cold. These guys are like doing backflips in jeans. What? This is the top of the mountain? This whole mountain is this? Oh my god. This is the worst.
People who live in Florida are just like, wow, snow seems like a lot of fun and real easy to go through. I don't see any problem with
Yeah,
the
it
snow
kind of
here.
seems like if you made this movie, kind of seems like this is a live action movie where they use fake snow, but it's really like crappy. Like it's not good. It's just like, like shredded paper almost. And all the characters, no matter how much is around, just all do the same thing. They're like, brrr, it's so cold.
It's so cold.
It's not in the cold. They're just acting poorly. That's kind of the way it would almost be like if there was a live action version of this that got translated to animation and they had to keep all of it. But then these characters still have to be trudging through like 5 feet of snow. And just like, whoa, it's so cold and all this snow. I wish I had more that, like, I wish my arms weren't exposed. Like, I don't know. I hope this. Remember how when like the Human Torch was on TV and cartoons, kids like set themselves on fire. I don't think that's true. But that's why they didn't have. That's why they had the robot in the cartoon back in like the back in the day. There's a Fantastic Four, and it was like Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, the Thing, and friendly robot Herbie. And the rumor was because a kid set himself on fire or something. They were like, well, we can't have this fireman in the show, so we'll replace him with a friendly robot.
Confusing the kids.
I think
That's
that's
what they
just
say.
Darwinism. I think they
It's
just
probably not true. Yeah, I bet. Well, I'm shocked that the most popular thing on the planet in its year, didn't cause more snow-related accidents. Or maybe we just didn't hear about them.
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna
Parents-
go be like Elsa, run into the snow.
Well, a lot of what I've seen is so cosplayers who dress up like Elsa will go outside during snowstorms to take pictures in the outfit, and I'm like, you're gonna get you're gonna get pneumonia. Like,
That's great. Oh, that's so crazy.
yeah, but I gotta tell you, some great pictures have come out of it. But
Oh,
like,
I'm sure.
at what cost?
So worth it.
The best
Yeah.
pictures come at the greatest costs.
Yeah.
I guess, so we're getting into snow. I have a nitpick, or like a question.
Yeah.
So the most impressive thing Anna does, or Elsa does, excuse me, is like make the snowman, right? Like give him a personality.
Oh,
and
Marshmallow?
shtick.
Or Olaf?
Olaf.
Oh, Olaf. Yeah.
And I feel like Marshmallow should be a much bigger, like Olaf he's quirky, he's kind of annoying. Not like annoying, but like he's got all the problems of a guy. So like it wouldn't be that helpful for her to make 50 of him. But it would be really sweet if we had 50 marshmallows she can control. Like,
We were saying that.
Yeah. I said
Arendelle
that.
should be the most secure place on Earth.
Yeah.
Or greatest war power ever known.
Right, and she can make them not die because she seems to have, like, control over, like, she could just keep doing ice at him.
Yeah, she gives Olaf some cloud.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So then, yeah, they should just roll through. I want a Tangled sequel where we'll have to invent, like, a new villain. But, like, Frozen 3, we'll have to invent some sort of, like, is the witch from Tangled dead? Can we bring her back?
She's
Yeah,
dead.
she
She's
turns
very dead.
She
Well,
turns
she's got
into
a sister,
ash and
she
falls
does
from
mind
the
control
tower.
to this one. And then the next movie of Tangled will pretend it's just Tangled too, and like, oh man, now they have a kid. What are they gonna do? And then like 2/3 of the way through the movie, the entire country is wiped off the map by a horde of these giant snow monsters. Like the thing that it is it might as well be the Ice Titan from Hercules.
Yeah.
It's got
Honestly,
the same
yeah.
kind of internal bits, and it's just got snow on the outside of those, but a lot of it is exposed, so you can still see the ice. And like, yeah, 3 or 4 of those and you're good.
Yeah, I do think that the biggest downfall is that so when Hans was fighting Marshmallow, he was able to sort of cut his leg clean off.
Yeah,
So they'd have to find something to like fix that problem. But outside of
that's
that,
true.
like just make that whole like make his legs ice.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess, if you had enough of them, you could kind of have those ones cuddle around him, and then you get like Elsa in, and she'd fix him with magic.
Right, true.
Also, speaking of live things she creates, so I watched the little thing. I didn't like watch it with sound, but I think I get the gist of it. So she sneezes and makes a little snowman that seem to be like mentally lower on the totem pole than anything. They just really bounce around and go hee hee hee.
Yeah.
Like banana or whatever the minions say. As I was watching this with no sound on, I got to the point near the end where I was like, okay, so they're tribbles, like from Star Trek. The end, it's going to be the country's full of them. What are we going to do? And I have to kill them all or something. And then she just takes them to home. And they go to live in this ice castle thing. So does this still exist? Does she go hang out here from time to time?
Yes, because spoiler for the Disney Frozen ride in Disney in Epcot, the premise is that you go to Elsa's castle.
Yeah.
Is anybody there besides all these bouncy guys?
I mean,
Marshmallow
Elsa is,
and Elsa, yeah.
I just assumed, but Elsa, where does Frozen 2 leave, or Frozen 1, excuse me, leave Elsa?
she's
In like Arendelle.
yeah,
the
she's
capital
leaving
or whatever.
Arendelle.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have time to go back to her second castle.
Did you guys see the after credits scene for Frozen?
Did I see the after credit scene?
Okay,
It's-
it's really short and really quick, and I'll send you the clip. But it's just Marshmallow in the castle, and he puts on Elsa's crown,
Oh.
and it's just great. And I'll
So
send it
he's
to
in
you
charge now.
here.
So he's the king of the mountain.
Yes, or the queen.
Or she, or whatever. Yeah. I like the design of this thing too. If I haven't seen this, like, as time goes by, I forget this marshmallow thing is in this movie. It's not a huge part of it, but it is like a cool looking thing.
Also, Olaf knows that his name is Marshmallow. Like, that's how we learn. Because he's like, oh my god, Marshmallow's coming. And we have no idea how Olaf knows that.
Yeah. Oh, and when they put on the crown, its spikes go away. It becomes nice.
Yeah, he's happy.
He just wanted a crown. That's weird.
Or
What a weird ambition to give your sentient monster thingy.
maybe he just
Yeah, that-
wanted a position of authority.
Yeah.
that is the weird part, is that this kind of implies that Elsa is God because she
Yeah.
gives sentience.
Without a doubt. And it's the most annoying sentience. Like, did you think there were ever do you think they could be like, you know what? We're playing with this snowman. What's this snowman's whole deal? Well, it's like existential and it's really yippy and it's always trying to get attention. It's like, no, it would just be a guy. I assume. I don't know. When they do the voice of the snowman, I don't read Josh Gad. But then when the snowman comes to life, you'd be like, whoa, you're quite a lot, aren't you, snowman guy? This is... I guess I can will a human soul into it, but I don't get to pick which soul shows up. And we're going to try this a couple more times until I get one that's fun. Although, I mean, they like him. He's fun. Our song is very fun. It's the best song in the show, I think, for me.
Like, the premise of a snowman... Because the only thing we have to go on is when they first make Olaf, Elsa goes, hi, I'm Olaf, and I like warm hugs. And that's, like, all we have for Olaf. So
Yep.
I guess it was kind of that quirk is willed into him.
Yeah, but also the one thing to remember is that when Elsa remade Olaf with her ice powers, she didn't realize that she made him sentient.
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Which is like a really interesting thing. Like, she's crafting all this beautiful stuff while she's like discovering herself. And then she just makes Olaf and thinks that it's just a snowman that she built on the side.
But Marshmallow, she knew she made that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Huh.
I love Marshmallow. He's such a great like character.
Oh yeah, he's great.
And I think he's going to facilitate the final nitpick, or second to last one.
This kid. So, real quick, Kristoff is shredded.
He has a very different physique than the rest of them.
Yeah. He's also able to more or less lift Sven. If ice is stronger than 100 men and he's hauling this all day, yeah, he's yoked. He's the most powerful of them all. So
oh, that's true. He's even better than ice.
Maybe he could beat Elsa.
Ice.
Yeah.
Have we tried that? He doesn't ever get a punch on her, right? I mean, that wouldn't be nice, but maybe he's the secret ingredient, like the one that if she ever, lost it and went full Dark Phoenix, like, get Sven in here. He did ice, because that would be the only reason we did that song in the beginning. It's the kind of setup that he knows ice really well, but that's not what it is.
So yes, final nitpick, and again, this is one of the more jarring ones. So they're running away from Marshmallow, and he's chasing him off a cliff, and they get to the cliff, and he's like, oh man, it's a 200-foot drop. He spots that immediately, so I guess good for him for knowing distance. So he makes a snow anchor for a rope so they could kind of belay down. And they try, but Marshmallow lifts him up. He's like, go away. And then Anna's like, sure. Cuts the rope, and they fall 200 feet. Now, His explanation pre-fall is there's 20 feet of powder down there. We'll be fine. How does he know that? How does he know there's 20 feet of snow to pad their fall? You can't see the depth of snow. I mean, I guess you can if you have a related landmark. It just seems, given everything that's going on, that's probably not what he's checking for. Just as a baseline. And so they fall and they live, which is ludicrous. There's no way, right? Can we agree that there's no way they would have made...
But not even... I don't have a problem with the fact that they lived. It's the fact that they don't seem any kind of disgruntled at all. Anna's like, oh, that wasn't bad. And I'm like, you just fell 200 feet and you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, for reference, the Tower of Terror is 199 feet. So you did 1 feet more than the ride that's fun part is that you fall down. And also, the 20 feet of powder, let's all close our eyes for a second and imagine 20 feet, just from where you are to the top. And then if you jumped down, I would assume you'd fall at least some into it.
Yep.
You wouldn't just land on the top like a mattress and go, good. So, what do you do then? Just swim around and die? Because there's 20 feet of snow. You're in the snow now. Isn't that why they have to send those dogs with the little barrels of liquor? Is because people get stuck in that part of it? It's not the landing part. It's the getting out part.
Truth.
So where's the dog? I guess Sven could help, maybe? Or does he fall too?
Oh, yeah, where
20
does Sven
feet,
go?
he can't help that much. He's big, but he's not 20 feet big.
Where does Sven go? I don't even remember.
He gets eaten by Marshmallow.
I think he ran away before they got to the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, he's like, go, get out of here, Sven, go. Yeah, that's as best as I could remember for that.
But when they do fall, and they don't fall all the way down, which they should have, like they kind of land on the top of the snow, the 20 feet of snow. There's there's a short scene where Olaf is like, I can't feel my feet, but he's like holding Kristoff's feet.
Oh yeah.
And like you can't tell that Kristoff is there because there's no imprint of him falling in the snow.
It's like fresh powder.
Yeah.
Like it's just fresh powder behind him, and then he like emerges from the snow as if he was like buried there. And it's like it is not clear that you just fell 200 feet into that snow.
How sure are we that Kristoff exists?
Whoa.
Like, is it just living in Anna's mind? And I guess
not
then
one of
technically
these.
it would have to be.
Damn it, Nando.
Does he interact with any other character in a meaningful way?
Yeah, he talks to the gate guards when he brings back Anna, and they're like, thank you so much, good sir, who definitely exists.
Damn it.
So, yeah, sorry.
Maybe he's only alive then. Maybe he's made out of snow. Maybe he's the other half, because she doesn't do the other thing that Iceman does, where he turns into ice. That's obviously
true.
a symptom of the problem at the end of the movie, but usually Iceman could turn his whole body into ice. Maybe that's what he can do.
Oh, maybe.
Made of snow. That's why he's always got snow on him. It's because that's him sweating snow out of his snow body.
All right,
know?
cool, we figured it out, team.
Okay, so here's how it works. Anna cannot be killed. She is impervious to everything. Kristoff is secretly snow. And then Elsa just has complete control over the atoms and stuff.
All right.
She doesn't know it. She doesn't realize it. Yeah. Also, remember the part where the one guy because like this movie takes itself not like very seriously, but it's pretty like adult almost. There's like a lot of jokes that you're like, oh yeah, it's for adults, you know, like when the sleigh crashes, you're like, I almost paid it off.
Yeah.
There were only a couple things in this movie that struck me as like, oh, that's for kids. Remember when the Duke of Weaselton dances all goofy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That felt very much like, they can dance goofy. The kids love the goofy dances.
It's true.
Yeah, and there's like parts where Olaf's like, watch out for my butt. And like, butt things are always
so
for
much
kids.
of that.
Yeah.
Although not nearly as much as I'd expect from a lesser movie.
Oh, yeah, they tread the line
Yeah.
fine, I think, honestly. So, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's kind of it. You guys, I mean, we didn't even talk about this at all, but you know how, I'm sure, Michelle, you've heard the story of how Elsa was originally going to be the bad guy, and then they changed it, right?
Yeah.
Because of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do you think the movie was going to go from there? You think they were going to kill her?
Ooh.
No, I think it's more likely that they would have like captured her and tried to like convert her to the good side. That sounds more Disney. Or they would have killed her in a way that's not like apparent, like what they did with Mother Gothel from Rapunzel, how she turned into dust and fell out the window, and like she very clearly died, but it wasn't so blatant.
Yeah.
So it would have been something like that if they were going to kill her.
That makes sense.
There's also, I forgot to bring this up. This is a kind of interesting observation. It's not clear because Hans wants to kill Elsa by the end of the movie. He's made that abundantly clear. But he prevents Elsa's death when the Weaselton guys is going to shoot her with a crossbow. And that's a bit inconsistent from his goals.
Yes and no.
Okay.
So in the scene, he prevents her death, but you can see him very quickly look up at the chandelier. He does plan that.
Okay.
If you watch it really slowly, he like looks up the chandelier and he points the thing up like, this'll get her.
Right.
Because I don't think he thinks the arrow would work.
Oh, okay. Because we were saying...
that's like super good.
I mean, listen, it could be a million different things, but that's always how I read that scene.
Yeah, because we brought up that point too. We were like, well, why didn't he just let the other guy kill her? And like he stopped it, but in a way that like it was clear that he noticed the chandelier was there and was trying to like trap her or like throw her off her guard or something.
Yeah.
But that makes sense that he doesn't think that the arrow would have done the job.
It's confusing what he's after because he really does feel like this isn't like this always wasn't the plan, you know, like this maybe even late in the game they're like, you know what, he's a bad guy, we'll make him a bad guy. But they rationalize it well enough in the movie that I'm not like I didn't feel like cheated or anything, but it is just an interesting situation because I think out of the Disney twist villains, between what is his name? Hans? Yeah.
Yeah.
Between
Yeah.
Hans and the one from Big Hero 6, I think they were both pretty, like, meh. And they
Yeah.
both happened around the same time. And I think they've gotten better with, like, Moana, and something else. I guess Wreck-It Ralph 2 didn't have one. Wreck-It Ralph 1. Like, so, I don't know. They're really 50-50 on them.
Right. You know what's funny is talking about Hans, we were saying that the song Love is an Open Door would have been way more popular if he didn't end up being the villain. But now it's kind of a song that feels
Yeah.
weird to sing because, like, you know that he's, like, either lying to her or he ends up, like, cheating
Right.
her. And it doesn't feel like a good love song anymore.
Yeah, it's like, what's the song? What's the song that one singer wrote for Dave Coulier? You know what I'm talking about?
man.
It's like there was a pop song back in the day. Is it "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette? I don't remember. But either way, there's a song like that where you're like, oh, this is a fun song. And then you realize, like, oh, wait, never mind. It's not fun. It's
This
bad.
turn.
Are you excited for the sequel?
Eh.
I am.
What if it answers all of the questions? It's just Olaf or it's just Kristoff measuring snow, going around surveying the land. Anna gets into like they all make dresses for each other out of some sort of special water we didn't even know existed up until this point.
I'm
And
worried
then
that
the trolls just do mostly troll exposition, so pretty exciting.
I'm worried they're gonna bring the parents back. Actually,
Yes, same.
Like How to
Legit
Train Your Dragon.
Yep.
Yeah. So legitimate concern of mine.
Interesting.
Same. I have that same concern.
As long as Elsa kills everybody, that's all we need.
Just
I want them
desserts.
to. What if they like went back on it and they were like, you know what? Maybe she is the villain, and they turned her into like they did everything they were gonna do at the end of this version of the movie. If the Let It Go wasn't the huge mega hit that it became when they were working on it.
They're just sitting on it for an eternity.
Yeah, they were like, oh man, we ran out of ideas, but I guess we have this half of a script, so we'll get this part first, and then we'll just kind of work from there.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah,
So,
it's
maybe.
great. It's a great movie. I mean, it is good. I think it
Yeah.
became so good that it could never be as good as it was, you know?
Right.
Yes.
Like-
yes.
It couldn't live up to expectations, but it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, from what I read, the sequel, like very early reviews or whatever, it's like, just like that typical. I'd put it in with like the Ant-Man category where it's like, oh well, it's like Disney, so of course it's gonna be good, but this isn't really what we're after. So,
Mhm.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
We will
But,
see.
I'm not excited. I will say that I am not excited.
I'm excited to see how much better the animation and CGI is.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Oh my god, the hair is everywhere. Just so much hair.
I can count
I mean-
every individual freckle on Anna's face.
That is what you want. There's always some, because I always watch the making of like that, like stuff when it comes out, and that's always on YouTube, and it's always something like that. So it's like we did so much because they did this with this one. I remember seeing little documentaries. We did so much new stuff with snow. We made snow that crashed this way and that way, and I'm like, cool. It kind of looked like snow to me, and I'm sure if I watched them next to each other, it would look like night and day. Kind of like when you watch Incredibles 2 right after Incredibles 1.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh my god, the first one is awful. But mostly the people's faces. But yeah, I don't know. I think that we've gotten to a point, especially with like Moana and this, where if you told me that instead of CGIing this, someone just built this world somewhere and made all these people out of robots or something, and they just had, like, it was an animatronic thing that they filmed, I'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds right too. So it looks about that good. I don't think it's going to get better as long as they still have cartoon faces. It's not real, but it might as well be.
Well, it's like Toy Story 4. We were talking about that before too. How in Toy Story 4, the scenes that have like the cat in it, because it just looks like
Oh,
a regular
yeah.
cat, it just looks like someone filmed a cat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like phenomenal.
How do they do it?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Because every time I try to take a picture of my cat, he like moves.
Same.
So annoying. I gotta take like 4, and then the last one is the one where he has the face I want, but it's like keeps moving his head. I don't know how he knows. Rose is the same way. They both know, and they're like, no, come on. Like they're like a famous person I'm eating dinner at the same restaurant as, and they see me get out my phone, and they're like, oh god, he's here. They
And it'll
turn
be
their
like-
face away.
They won't move for like 10 minutes, and the minute you get
Yeah.
your phone out, they're like, nah.
I think they can hear radio signals or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Maybe these new Toy Story 4 cats will be the new cats because you can just make them do whatever you want.
Yeah, let's get those. What if that's what we do in the future? Instead of Tamagotchis, we just get a DVD of Toy Story 4, and then that cat is the real cat now.
Enjoy
Listen,
your new
as
cat,
good as this movie was, it's no movie where you just look at a cat in CGI for an hour and a half, you know? That's how you know it's a good movie.
So, yeah, we did it.
We did it.
Frozen
we learned a lot
2.
about different superheroes and how they relate to the
We
single
really
character
did.
in this show or in this movie with superpowers.
It's not where I thought it would go, but I get it.
I mean, it's
For
as
us, it
close
feels-
as they've gotten to like an X-Men kind of, you know, like with like the genie. It's like he's a genie, does whatever he wants. I don't know, but with this, they do kind of be like, she could do ice stuff, and these are some of the things, but she's not a god. She's just like a superhuman. So, if you're gonna play that game, Disney, you're gonna play by the rules that the game is usually set up to work under.
Yeah,
And they
nothing's
do an
fake.
okay
ones.
job.
So, yeah, I think that's it. We'll get to our classic segment.
Yeah, do you have anything to recommend in order? I guess we'll do DJ Michelle and myself.
All right. So I want to give a recommendation to. I know this is going to sound shocking, but guys, would you believe it? EA put out a good Star Wars game.
I thought you were going to say Death Stranding. I really would have found that shocking. No, Star Wars game, I would believe it because EA let Respawn put out a good Star Wars game, right? That's kind of what happened.
It's single player. There's no microtransactions whatsoever. People are a little mad that like the exclusive content came from pre-order, but it's all cosmetic. Calm down, people.
What is it?
I'm sorry. Duh. Jedi: The Fallen Order.
No. I knew that. I'm saying, what's the exclusive? Do you get to have Darth Maul instead of whatever the guy from Batman show is?
No. Oh God, no.
Do you get an electric guitar instead of his little lute?
Yeah. So you get an orange lightsaber crystal. So I guess that's a real thing now. Orange lightsabers. A ship skin and a skin for your droid. That's it. That's all. And I think an outfit too. But so anyway, yeah, the game is Jedi Fallen Order. It chronicles the events between episode 3 and 4. There's a Padawan who kind of escaped and got out, but now he's the Empire has found him. So you're kind of running from the Empire and doing things that I won't mention because it's kind of cool to find out on your own. The game is a weird mix between like the Metroid Prime games and oh my God, what are the Uncharted.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about this is that, especially with like The Force Awakens, a lot of this stuff, and even in Jedi: The Old Republic.
Oh wait, you're talking about? You said Force Awakens.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Force Unleashed, right?
Oh my goodness, so many.
I just want to make sure.
Yep,
as I've played Force Unleashed, I think one. I don't think I played the second one.
Yeah, the second one wasn't very good.
That's what I hear.
Like Force Unleashed and Knights of the Old Republic, where a lot of it's just kind of like you're fighting through as a Jedi. But this is cool because it adds a lot of platforming aspects. And like if you were a Jedi doing a platformer, there's some interesting things you can introduce there, like wall running and you know, having to avoid different enemies and using your force powers. And it's really fun and inventive, and it's got a nice feel to it. My only complaints is that the protagonist is really, really boring. And the story's kind of out of nowhere, and the graphics aren't great for a game coming out in 2019.
Right.
But besides that, I think it's like a really good game, and it fills me with hope. And it's kind of nice having these like other Star Wars stories, like, oh, I got The Mandalorian, and I got Jedi: The Fallen Order, which is taking an interesting kind of look at things. So, and the combat's good. The combat is good. It's just the platforming is where the game really shines. So, yeah, I'm really on board with Jedi: Fallen Order. Really, really enjoy it. So, that is my recommendation.
Nice.
Michelle,
what do you got?
So I have been watching a ton of Disney Plus recently, which I'm sure no one is surprised about. But I've recently decided to binge through the entire Simpsons series.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I watched the whole thing growing up, and I just sort of wanted to have that be my new like background noise, like something that I didn't need to be like focusing on when I'm watching it. And it's still so funny, and like a lot of the humor still like holds up really well, and it also has like some like good morals like in there, and it's just still such a good show that I'm pretty pleased with it. On the other hand, Disney Plus will not save my progress within the series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every time I go in to rewatch it, I have to remember what episode I was on and then
That's so
find that episode.
stupid.
Yeah, it's not good. And it makes me very upset because my whole job is making sure that people have good experiences on things.
Yeah.
And this feels like a very low bar that they could have like definitely passed, and they did not.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, The Simpsons really fun to rewatch, especially every time I get to a Treehouse of Horror episode. It's just very like nostalgic and like fun, and it's just a good like rewatch and great background noise.
Yeah, I have the same thought kind of with like I was saying with the X-Men animated series. I wouldn't say it's exactly the same kind of thing, but I do like just having a show on in the background. That is fun. It's very fun.
Yeah, well, I used to have friends, and then DJ makes fun of me because I must have run through the series like 5 or 6 or 7 times already.
Mm. Yeah,
I wouldn't say make fun of. I just say point out, like, huh.
that's
Again.
fair. I
No,
don't know.
Friends
Some
is
people
great.
like Friends. It's never my favorite thing, but it's okay. All right. I'm trying to think of what to recommend. I haven't been playing a lot of games. You ever get to like today, which is like Thursday, and you're like, what did I do this week? And you're like, I don't really
Yeah.
know. I will say I've been reading like a lot of comics as I tried to do. One of the new series that I think is pretty cool that I think you could probably get your hands on at any comic book store now. Is it's part of the Dawn of X thing, which is like there's like 6 or 7 X-Men comics going on at once. There's like New Mutants and X-Men and X-Force and Excalibur, and there's 2 more. Marauders, that's the best one, where Shadowcat is a pirate. That's like, if you can read one, read that. But there's another one called Fallen Angels that I think is actually pretty interesting. It's the one I was probably the least excited for originally, and now I might like it the best. Basically, the pitch is, DJ, you're familiar with the character Psylocke?
I am familiar with Psylocke.
Do
Olivia
you know
Munn,
what all
as
the
we all
weirdness about just that character historically is?
know. Yes?
How she's been a Japanese lady and a British lady.
Okay, yeah.
So like there's
Following.
2 characters in that body. So there's a series called Excalibur, which is Betsy Braddock, which is like the white girl. And then there's Quainon. I don't know how to spell her name, but I keep pronouncing it in my head QAnon, and that's not
Oh,
it. But it's
no.
spelled kind of like that. And this is like post all of the X-Men stuff that happened in House of X and stuff. Is her just trying to kind of figure out what her deal is. And X-23 is in it, as well as Cable, I believe, although he's not really super present in the first series. But I really like the colors. I've always been a big fan of Psylocke as like a character design, but I like the fuchsia-y, the way her powers look in the comic. And out of all of them, besides Marauders, which I think, knock on wood, a lot of people say is like their favorite. Not knock on wood, but generalizing, most people I've talked to like Marauders best. This is maybe my second favorite, so it's fun. I don't know where it's going yet, but out of all the comics I've read recently, it's probably my favorite one.
Nice.
Yeah. Next week, DJ and Michelle, what's coming out?
Frozen 2, baby.
Oh man, how much money do you think it's gonna make? Let's predict that. For
It's November.
I'll find the
It's the
old
weekend
one.
before
How much money it
Thanksgiving.
made on its opening weekend?
I'm gonna say like 120 million.
It seems low, but I'm gonna
Really?
figure it out.
I think November's weird. Although it came out like the same time back in 2013.
And I feel like this is such a different case because like when it first came out, I don't think people knew what to expect, but now it's
Yeah.
like people are like really looking forward to this now.
Do you think it'll be
Mhm.
200?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Oof.
I think it has potential to be.
So this can't be right.
What?
Okay, so it's official. So domestic, it made 400 million. That makes sense, right? That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then international, it made 873. So that means opening week it made. I'm having so much trouble finding this. I am so mad that IMDb took over Box Office Mojo. It used to be so simple. We all knew
Yeah.
exactly how it worked, and then they just went, "Yeah, I know it's great. Let's ruin it." God, it is so hard to find this information.
Yeah, it used to be good. Is there like a different Box Office Mojo that we could like go to?
Right?
All right, so
Okay.
it opened 243, 390.
Yeah, so that's just one theater. So if we can't, that's not helpful. Thank you, IMDb.
Oh, is that really? Oh my god.
That's what it reads here. IMDb, you killed it. You ruined Box Office Mojo. Was great.
It was great.
Someone should make an old version of it. Like just
Could, like-
Box Office Mojo 2, and it's just the old one, but stealing all the information. I don't know. Anyway, it made a lot of money. Oh wait, okay, I could probably find this on the Wikipedia page. Okay, Box Office.
This is good.
I'm gonna figure this out.
You're so determined. Let me Google new box
Okay,
office Mojo.
Frozen became Fandango's top advanced ticket seller among original animated films, ahead of previous record holder Brave. Top selling thing in history. Okay. It opened on Friday, November 22nd, exclusively at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood for a 5-day limited release that earned $342,000 before its wide opening Wednesday, November 27th. During the 3-day weekend, it earned $243,000. Wait, what? This is so confusing. Just give me a number, internet. 67 million? That looks right. Second largest pre-Thanksgiving weekend. The film finished in second place over the traditional 3-day weekend, Friday to Sunday, with 67.4 million.
Found it.
Yeah. So that's not that much. It'll definitely make more than that.
Yeah, I also may have Googled because, of course, we're recording this Thursday night, and they have a ton of numbers already.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there's no way it doesn't make 150.
Yeah,
Is that insane? I don't think that's insane.
It's gonna. It might make 200.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What did Avengers make? I don't think it'll make more than that, but probably right under.
Yeah. So
say 180. 180. Yeah.
All right, Michelle, what's
Kids
your
love
guess?
this.
I think it has potential to make 200.
All right, 200. I'll take 190. I'll split it.
DJ, you should have taken $342,000. If you want to go with the first time it was ever released, it'll probably be that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be a lot, but also I have. It's because of Box Office Mojo. I have so little reference for it. But I think it's gonna be something. By the way, did you know there's a 30-minute Coco short in the beginning of Revenge? No, that'd be great. I'm joking.
Yeah.
So why would you do
you got
that
her so
to me?
excited.
Just them like flipping off Olaf, just kicking a snowman down a flight of stairs for 30 minutes.
No, it's definitely Coco's Thanksgiving, where the Mexican family celebrates the American holiday of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's definitely what happens.
Just because, and we didn't even talk about the fact that Jesus exists in this universe, right?
Yeah,
they
exactly.
celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do they call it Christmas?
They do. In the short, they call it Christmas, I think.
Well,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
It's Life
They may
Day.
never say... yeah, exactly. It's non-denominational. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I don't think they actually say Christmas.
yeah, I don't think they do.
What
right.
they do is they go over the holiday traditions like putting up a tree and giving gifts.
Yep.
And so it's fucking Christmas.
I'm going to take your word on it. However, part of me also believes that it might be a holiday the day that Elsa decided not to kill everyone with her ice powers. Like maybe they're just celebrating the day that
they're all
Elsa made
alive.
the ice go away. The benevolent God let them all live. So yeah, Frozen 2, it's going to be fun.
Real quick before we go, thanks for hanging with us, everybody. This is a little longer than usual, but
this is longer than Frozen.
yeah, by like half an hour. It's crazy we do this. Michelle, would you like to just give any plugs before we sign off here?
So a lot of my handles are mcoraci designs. That's MCORACI designs. I also have an Etsy where I sell some jewelry, and I'm going to be putting up some D&D ornaments. And that is MC Marvelous Market, and I can share links with you guys.
Yeah, just tweet it out and we'll retweet you.
Awesome.
That's how we do. Yeah, I think that's it. Oof.
Cool. Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
It's a good movie. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot to nitpick.
Nando's been blindsided by the fact that Box Office Mojo is just terrible.
It kills me. That and that sandwich I had earlier today really up my game. I have a feeling Frozen 2 will be equally nitpickable, if not more.
I agree. I really agree.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, well, until next week, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Sippy by Day. Michelle, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll see you next week, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.